full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, and family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetable, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. The home of Kansas City Royals baseball. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break. Brought to you by Sandhills Global. Live from Lincoln, America. Here's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
Husker Online, Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
And longtime college football assistant coach, Bill Bush.
I want to buy a couple ducks. I'm bringing 2 ducks to the office.
This is Early Break.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday morning to you. Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen. Steve's out today. Bill Bush out. Jake Sorensen with you, as well as Nick Sainert, live from separate rooms in Las Vegas, Nevada, ahead of the Las Vegas Bowl today, 12:30 Central Time, 2:30 p.m. in Lincoln. Nick, good morning. You've had a interesting night, as well as myself, and people did not believe in us to be here at 4 a.m. Vegas time. Yet here we are at 4 a.m. Vegas time, up and at it for a big day ahead. Bowl game, Nebraska, Utah, in several hours from right now.
It's finally here, Jake, and it's gonna be a fun day. And there's certainly a lot to get to, a lot of conversations around Nebraska football that we need to get to. But yeah, here we are, 4 a.m. And a lot of people said that it wasn't possible,
including myself.
I didn't know if it was possible for a while there, but here we are, and we're ready to roll, and it's going to be a fun, exciting day. New Year's Eve is officially here in Las Vegas.
Yes, we were going to start with some idle chit-chat, as we always do on this final day of the year. It's hard to believe. It is the last day of 2025. Tomorrow will be a new year, 2026. We hope that that Nebraska basketball keeps going the way they're going. We get them more as the show goes on regarding their start to the season and keeping things rolling. But let's just set the scene here for a second, Nick. For those who are curious, we did put out a post last night on social media, just kind of giving an update on our whereabouts. Nick got to Vegas about 3 o'clock yesterday, and I got to Vegas local time. I got here about 5:15 local time. We did meet up. We're staying at the Virgin Hotels, which is just off the Strip, about a mile. Are we south of the Strip, Nick? Do you know what direction this is from the Strip?
Yes, south of the Strip for sure.
Okay, thank you. South of the Strip right now. And and then we ended up going down to the Strip and seeing some, we went through the Bellagio, walked through that incredible place that is. We saw the fountains there and had a good steak at the Cosmopolitan up there. And I think the third level, I think it was called the Blue Ribbon, I believe is the name of the restaurant. And it was a successful night for Mr. Sainert in the Virgin Hotels casino. I won't give updates beyond that, but that's how it was. It was a good night on the floor of the casino, should I say?
It was, and hopefully,
proper?
I think that's proper. We don't have to go into exact details or exact amounts, but we are doing just fine. And Vegas has not taken me for everything I'm worth. And if the rest of the 24 hours that we're here or 48 hours that we're here goes the same way, Jake, we might be flying first class back to Lincoln, Nebraska. Who knows?
Potentially on your dime, because I'm not a part of that at all.
Jake, you are not a part of that, but potentially on your dime. You have gotten a couple hours of shut eye. How was the night's rest?
Yeah, let's go there as well. Nick is a trooper. Now, before you joined the stream, Nick Bach, Bach asked me, and so did Nick Wyman back there. By the way, thanks for helping out this morning, being back there, guys, making this possible. But they asked me, did I get any sleep last night? I said, well, yeah, but not much. Like I got to the room past midnight this time, which of course is past 2 a.m. local time in Nebraska. I think I went to bed about 12:30 after all was said and done, and woke up at one point at 1:45. So all right, I actually could go back to sleep for a couple hours. Just sweet. And about 3:40 said, all right, it's time to get up. And so got on. We're on the Wi-Fi. We're good to roll. I'm honestly, I'll be very honest. I'm shocked as much as probably Bach and Nick Wyman, that we were both ready to roll on the stream. But at least I did get some sleep, unlike somebody over on the other side of the window here.
Well, when you woke up at 1:45, you could have come down and said hello. You could have said hello. Jake, here's the deal. I got to say, this is just for as we continue idle chit chat. We know this. There's a pizza restaurant down in the casino area.
Yeah, that's right.
It's New York style pizza, and I will say this: it is incredible. I grabbed a slice before I grabbed 2 slices on my way up here, and about 15 minutes ago, and I grabbed 2 slices, and we are enjoying them during the commercial breaks. It is actually really good pizza. I'm gonna have to buy you a couple of slices of New York style pizza down in the lobby of our hotel.
That'd be merely pennies to you at this point from last night's endeavors, this morning's endeavors as well. But you know what? I'm proud of you. So hopefully today goes just as well on the last day of the year. Resolutions can be happening right now. If you had a resolution from on January 1st, you could still achieve it today as your last day to do it. So if you have something you want to do today, Nick, today's your last chance to do so.
Well, I think it's smart to also mention that we got to run into other media members here in Vegas last night. That's a big reason why you were up so late, is because Jake, you have. Would you agree that you have FOMO, fear of missing out?
At times, not so much in gambling because I'm not very good at it. And so, no. So last night I was going to go to my room about 11:15, still late, but somewhat more responsible than 12:30 as it was. And I was going to the elevators, and I saw outside of it, Kevin Suits from 1011 News there, Bill Shammert from KETV in Omaha, Lauren Michelson also there, Andy Kendi, and then a couple others. And we're just talking about life, talking about Vegas, telling some stories, and then they said, "Do you want to go back to the floor?" I said, "Sure, I guess." What's 1 hour versus 2 hours of sleep? So went back there, saw you, Nick, saw you have some success, chatted with him for a while, and I also seen Michael Bruns from 24/7 Sports, and Brian Christopherson, Amy Just from the Journal Star is here, Evan Bland and Sam McCune from the World Herald. So we saw a very good contingent of the Nebraska media here at the Virgin Hotel. So good to see him enjoying Vegas and certainly working hard for this bowl game and earning some fun, but also nice to see them outside their normal ventures and having a good time. So that's what these bowl games are. Certainly it's obviously a great chance for fans to travel and see the team play one more time on a cool place, but it's also fun for the team itself, playing the coaches and the media, to have one final trip of the year to follow the team. So for a program, Nick, that missed it for 7 straight years, it's nice to see these media members getting their fair shake of how much they put into this to actually enjoy a trip out and about.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, it feels like the reaction has been pretty, for the most part, positive, right? Like nobody necessarily wants to spend. A lot of other media members, Jake, got here on Friday when the team got here. Right. Just because their duties require them to be at practices and stuff like that. Fortunately for us, we can get a lot of the same information when we're still in Lincoln than we are. But it is good to have boots on the ground, and we're excited, obviously, to be here for the game later today. But I think it's important to note that while nobody wants to be in Vegas for 6 or 7 days, The reaction from both Utah fans that we've talked to and also, the Nebraska contingent, whether that's media members or fans, it feels like the response has been pretty positive about the setup in Vegas. And I think there's a lot of people, myself included, excited to see Allegiant Stadium later today in just a few short hours.
I don't know what it's going to look in terms of attendance, but yeah, it should be a good crowd. And we just, as a note, the Nebraska hotel for the fans is the Mandalay Bay, and the Utah hotel is the Virgin Hotels. We are at the Utah hotel as well as those other media members. So it's not like we're just doing this by ourselves. Media members in Nebraska are mostly here at the Virgin Hotels. But yeah, we certainly saw Utah fans last night at the casino and also throughout Vegas enjoying times. Obviously, many Nebraska fans too. So I think the record for the bowl game is about 40,000 years ago.
Yeah,
for the most
44,000.
I don't know if we're going to get there again. I have no idea how to allocate that in terms of ticket sales or what's been sold, what's not. But I do think you'll see a pretty good amount of fans there today. And like we said, we were looking today at the forecast from last night, and it's supposed to rain all day. Not exactly the most desirable way to end the new year in Vegas in terms of all the things to do outside and enjoy Vegas. But as you point out, Nick, it is an indoor stadium, so rain will not be a factor today at Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah, it'll be nice. I think there's a lot of fans. As I was talking to them over the last couple of hours, a lot of Husker fans curious. Okay, where can we maybe go tailgate? And I know there's like some fan fest and some parties that the bowl game and that SRS Distribution, which is the bowl game title sponsor, that they're putting on for specifically Husker fans in the parking lot of Allegiant Stadium. But I would hope that things like that are covered today because it's going to be a little rainy. It's going to be a little annoying. But once we get inside, it's going to be really, really nice. And I'm excited to see, number one, another NFL stadium, but then also to be able to kind of just get the vibe of an indoor stadium. We didn't get that at Arrowhead earlier this year. Jake, you and I were both there. And obviously that's an NFL environment, but not an indoor stadium. We know a guy, and we'll talk about this later. TJ Lateef is a West Coast guy. And he struggled maybe a little bit in the colder weather. Obviously had the hamstring injury against Iowa. We'll see. That's the weather's not going to be a concern for the Nebraska offense. That's going to be missing a couple of key pieces today.
I want to make another note here while we're still in idle chit chat before we move on. That I told this to Nick yesterday when looking at the room. We're in a very nice room at the Virgin Hotels. You're on the 11th floor. I'm on the 6th floor. I don't know, and I've been to some great hotels, some medium hotels, some bad hotels. I don't remember the last time, Nick, that I have not seen a coffee machine in a room to make coffee, which would have been really helpful today for 4 a.m. for you and me, considering that nothing's open till 5 a.m. down below. You might say nothing closes in Vegas. Well, it does. Stuff in the actual casino does close. Dunkin' Donuts opens up in less than an hour, but it's not open right now for before the show or the first hour. And there's no coffee machine or even a microwave. There's not even a microwave. It's like there's a nice fridge. So if I had tried to warm up some coffee this morning, it wasn't possible. So,
well, you say you need coffee. All I need is this delicious piece of New York pizza for all the people that are on the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, which it's important to note, just because Jake, you and I are not physically in studio, we do have access to the text line.
Yes,
so please chime in 464-5685. You guys know the phone number to call and text there, or I'm always on the video stream. But if you are on the video stream, you can see what I'm holding is a giant slice of New York style pizza. It's delicious. I got one more to finish after the piece that I just held up, and that's going to be quickly devoured during the next commercial break.
How do you think we're going to fare today? Because people are concerned that Bach before the show said how you going to last, not just through the show but through the game, through New Year's Eve, and I think we've discussed that if things go according to plan, we potentially will look at taking a nap maybe after the game. But knowing you and how you've operated so far, I don't think you're going to sleep at all until January 1st.
Well, I will say this, because of the events that happened last night, Jake, with the time zone or time change, time difference, there's been a lot of people that normally I would tell about this that are now just starting to wake up. And so I'm getting a rush of texts over the next, 15 minutes. I've already gotten a couple as we've been on air here about just the events of last night. But to your point about how we're going to fare, I think I will take a nap at some point. I think naturally, though, it's important. Like as we talk about our schedule, after we're done with early break in a couple of hours, you're in charge of getting us coffee. You're in charge.
I said that. Yep, I confirm that's. I'm fine with that.
If you need a little spare change, I can come on up to the 11th floor. I can help you out. I can pay for the coffees.
Please do.
But anyway, if you want to come up to the 11th floor. But other than that, I'll go on the show with AD for the next 2 hours as well. But then after that, we're off to Allegiant Stadium. It's a 12:30 kickoff here in Vegas, and we got a pregame show to do that you and I both want to be able to try to do from the turf, from standing on the field at Allegiant Stadium. And so it's going to be kind of a bang, bang, bang type of situation here over the next couple hours.
That's a great time to plug this, Nick. You're right. Today we'll have normal programming from 6 a.m. local time till noon, and then at noon we will switch over to the pregame show from 12 to 2:30. They will have the post. They will have national during the show, during the game, on our airwaves from about 2:30 to 6. 6 p.m. You'll have post-game show with Jay Foreman and Austin Norman on for that, and others chiming in for the final football post-game show of the season. But it will be certainly a great day of football. Hopefully Nebraska obviously gets the win, and Nebraska fans can celebrate that. But no matter what, we'll be here covering it and be here for you. So, by the way, you mentioned 402-464-5685. Text or call as always. Someone says, Nick, just eat the pizza. We are used to Sipple eating on air anyways. So go ahead, Nick.
I thinking about it. It's really good. I don't even know what it was. One of those situations where I looked at my watch, and this is full transparency. And I don't know if this is a good thing to admit or not. But I looked at my watch, and I saw that the time was 3:44 a.m. and I thought, okay, I got to hurry up and get this slice of pizza.
I had not reached out to you yet, by the way.
You had not reached out to me. There was some thoughts in my mind with the way things were going up until 3:44 a.m. that I might just not show up right at 6 a.m. But here I am. But nonetheless, I rushed in and I said, "Can I get a slice of that and a slice of that, please?" And I don't even know what I ordered. I just picked two things that looked good, and they warmed it up. They gave it to me in a white box, and we came up the stairs, and here we are. So I don't even know what toppings are on it.
Looked like hamburger to me, the one you showed.
Well,
me.
I think it's Italian sausage and pepperoni.
Okay.
And then I think I got just a basic pepperoni one. I think I'm not entirely sure, but it's going to taste delicious going down.
Well, you deserve it, and I know you want to make a trip to Bojangles after this at some point.
Yes,
across the street, because a great chicken restaurant which you have not dined on yet. We'll get some Bojangles at some point today, or before we leave Thursday. We have an afternoon flight, so maybe we'll get Bojangles if it's open Thursday, New Year's Day.
Hey, Bojangles on me, Jake.
A lot of things on Nick today. It's all pocket change to the young gambling connoisseur that he is.
It's not true. I make it sound like
classes.
I make it sound like I have such a bad problem. It's not an issue if you win.
You should just teach classes, Nick. At this point, just teach people how to win at the casino 101. Nick Sainert.
There was a moment. Okay, I'll say this. I have no problem telling this story. Okay, this was a story from last night as we continue idle chit chat. It was last night, this morning, however you want to dice it up. Where it was. We were standing around in the group of media folks. I think it was, Bill and Kevin Suits was there, and a couple of other people were there watching. There was about a group of 5 of us. And I had just cashed out from a time at a blackjack table. And I was thinking to myself, okay, there's a dealer over there looking somewhat lonely. The casino, we have to add, Jake, is dead. This place is like the casino.
But you like it, though.
Well, I love it for a multitude of reasons, but the casino is dead. There's like nobody in there at like 11 o'clock at night in comparison to other Vegas casinos.
Well, we walked through them. We went to the Bellagio. We went to the other ones, and they were packed. But this is not on. It's a mile off the strip. I was pointing out that not taking a shot at the Virgin Hotel here, but I like playing roulette, which is really not like me back for now a couple years at all. But the video, the board was not updating the numbers. Like it went 6 straight numbers, and I said, "Hang on a second. Like I know it means nothing when all is said and done, but for those who try to go off trends and maybe keep them going or go against them, that has been at number 26 for 6 straight balls, and that was done at any of the last 6. So that's just one thing.
Jake, it was so funny because I'll walk the folks through just about a 5-minute snippet of what this evening was, because as I mentioned, it was you, me, I think Kevin Suits was there,
Yeah.
Bill Shamrott was standing there
Andy
as well,
Kendi,
and Andy Kendi. And I was like, all right, you know what? I'll go ahead and $25 tables, $25 a hand tables are steep, man. Like they are, I do not enjoy them. And I found, I say this, I found a couple of $15 tables that I kind of resided at for the most part. But $25 tables were steep. And I was off. I was standing up and I was like, all right, you know what? I just had a little bit of success. So I was like, I'll just do 4 hands of $25 tables. And you saw this in about 30 seconds. I was up 100. And then I went and cashed out. I got up off the table. We were done, right? We were done. And then I end up looking at the roulette table and I hit on the third 12 set of numbers.
Yes.
If you have been in a casino. And so that won a little bit too. And that was $25 a hand as well. And then, so that was the span of like 2.5 minutes. Maybe I'm over dramatic and over exaggerating that.
At the same
piece.
time, I'm like, listen, I did a strategy you did for roulette and it didn't work out. I'm like, yeah, it's just not meant to be for me at the casino. It's just a sign here. So,
well, are you gonna give roulette another try tomorrow?
I don't know.
You're not even down that much, Jake. Like the way I understand.
I'm down $80.
Yeah, it's important to value a dollar, but if you're coming to Vegas and you are getting torn up because you're down less than $100, I mean, you should not have ever come to Vegas.
Well, listen, I'm coming here to cover the bowl game, Swim. All right, I'm a proper person to do that,
Yes,
so I'm going
of
to.
course.
By the way,
That's a priority.
last thing before we move on, BWD on UTI. We see the YouTube chats. Again, you can text 402-464-5685. BWD says, good morning, guys. Go Big Red, and boy, Jake looks weird. Why? What's the problem, BWD?
Your brightness is not necessarily that bright.
Brighter. Well, but when we come back from break not go to break yet, but when we come back after that, I will hopefully make this room somewhat brighter, and we'll go from that. Yeah. But yours is too bright.
Hold on. I think I have an ability. There we go. I turned it down.
That's bad. That's okay. It's
it's a little freaky. I don't like it.
Okay. Well, breakers, I promise that by the next break, I'll have maybe a little bit more brightness in here. But until then, it's what you get for this segment. That is Idle Chit Chat, sponsored by our friends at 738 Egg. Go see Joey and the team. They do a great job in Bertrand of right now. Again, it obviously is winter time now, but they're getting ready for the next year ahead. They help farmers in southwestern Nebraska stay fueled, prepped, and ready for whatever Mother Nature has to throw at them. Learn more today at 738ag.com. By the way, thank you to our sponsors making this trip possible. Amigos, Kings Classic, Advanced Medical Imaging, Ben Blanker of PRG, Berkshire Hathaway, Ambassador Real Estate, and MWR Building and Fence. We would not be doing these shows from Las Vegas or covering the game. No, we're not going to break yet. We're not going to break. Keep that music down. No break yet. Thank you. Thanks to the sponsors for making that possible, though. Okay. Yes, there's a bowl game today, Nick. Nebraska is right now, I think, 14-point underdogs against Utah. We all know, as you discussed with Bill the last couple of days, the chaos of the week that's been. Kyle Whittingham, of course, now the head coach at Michigan. Morgan Scalley, the head coach at Utah. And certainly some guys are not playing for Utah. But we pointed out that there is so much to play for Nebraska. TJ Lateef, the portal opens up in only a couple days. On Friday, the portal opens up in college sports for 2 weeks, and you're going to see guys who play well in this game be pursued by those teams, and guys that don't play well that you're curious what happens with them. And TJ Lateef is certainly the biggest guy you're certainly to say what's going to happen with him. Ideally, he sticks around for this program, and he has a great game, but there's just so much that's going to change from Friday in terms of guys on the roster, guys who aren't. And I mean, there's just so much to learn today, Nick.
Doesn't it feel like that's the path that we're trending towards, where Nebraska, they're going to bring in more than likely a transfer portal quarterback, excuse me, but it might not be a proven guy. Like, obviously, Husker fans love to hear the names like Brendan Sorsby and Sam Levitt and those guys. But I don't think that's the path Nebraska goes down this offseason. And I think that's okay. I think they like what they could potentially have in TJ Lateef. I'm interested to see if we're able to garner any flashes of what they want to do in 2026. And what I mean by that is this is now a team that's had multiple weeks with no games and in very controlled settings to introduce new things, introduce further things for TJ Lateef and what this offense could look like next year. Emmett Johnson's not going to be here next year. He's not going to be at this bowl game today. Obviously, Dylan Raiola is not going to be in the backfield. It's going to look very different just from the personnel standpoint. But Jake, I think that's kind of the path we go down, and you absolutely are correct in the fact of TJ Lateef's the big one that we're all circling, going, okay, what's going to be the outlook for TJ Lateef? Because as Dylan Raiola's future was unknown the last couple of weeks, even before he made his transfer intentions public, we kind of sat there and go, okay, what are they trying to do? What's the goal for TJ Lateef with Trey Taylor coming in 2027? You didn't know what the status of Dylan was going to be. I still think despite Dylan not being in that room, we're still sitting there going, okay, what's the status of TJ Lateef?
Well, I mean, you haven't played a game in just over a month, and the last time we saw Lateef, he was banged up with a hamstring injury. Nebraska got blasted 40-16 by Iowa, and I mean, his story's been odd too. I mean, that's certainly the guy that has been a lot of talk this season. Of course, Dylan's been the starting quarterback, but he goes down against USC. Lateef comes in, not ready to play in that game. Nebraska loses. That's fine. It was a cold game. He wasn't ready to go in, but the next week, UCLA looks awesome, and that's a team that obviously just fell apart, and that you can't take that away from Lateef. He looked great in that game. And then Penn State, not so good. Iowa game, obviously not so good, and the injury certainly a part of that. But yeah, I don't think that we know what we have with TJ yet, and that's fine. He's young, and you should expect him to be a finished product here as a freshman that he is in college football. But that being said, I mean, you got to get this right next year. The schedule for Nebraska football is ridiculously tough next year. They made a bowl game, so they didn't completely fail this year, but it wasn't exactly the best use of the schedule you had with what you could have been. But I mean, I'm talking to fans I'm talking to fans either at this game or just who are going to watch it, saying, are we going to make a bowl game next year? Like there's concern that you snuck in this year at 7-5, 6-6 last year with easier schedules. Like you can't afford to go next year and not make a bowl game. I know there's so much that's going to happen from now until next December. I'm not trying to go way ahead and say, hey, woe is me, things are falling apart. But if they don't get it right at quarterback, Nick, whether it's Lateef or somebody else, you're asking for a world of hurt next year. Because we are in very uncertain times in that position at this point.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And this is more so, I think, as much as I'm not trying to dog on Matt Rule here to start off the show, because I think there's a big opportunity ahead for Matt Rule today in the Las Vegas Bowl to kind of end year 3 on a high note, beating a ranked team, and despite maybe Utah not having the usual look that they do. I do think, though, that it's important to note and just have the conversation of identification abilities. How do you and how have you done at identifying players that you need at key positions, whether that's recruiting or whether that's retaining, whether that is transfer portal or high school. And now that's going to be a thing that if we look back in 2026 and go, okay, what's the outlook here? What's their plan? That's going to be another year, in addition to Jeff Sims, that Nebraska has missed on the quarterback, and that is the number one position that you cannot miss on. You can maybe cover up some flaws in other areas, maybe the wide receiver room, maybe some spots on defense, but there's only a couple of spots that you cannot misidentify guys on, and that's quarterback and I think offensive line. And Nebraska has done fine at the offensive line spot. Jeep Wade obviously is the one new coach that's going to be coaching the team today in the bowl game. Rob Orich and Roy Manning and Lonnie Teasley were going to be arriving later, closer to game time. They were not participating in the practices this week. So we'll see. I just think that, once again, not to sound doom and gloom here on New Year's Eve of Las Vegas Bowl, but I think it's important just to say, the identification, and it's important for the staff to show that they can go out and identify guys.
100%. And, you don't see the rise of Vanderbilt without a guy like Diego Pavia coming from New Mexico State. So you don't have to get guys coming in here from big Power 5 schools or even ones that are well known. Pavia, of course, had a big win against Auburn in his time at New Mexico State. But, there's so many guys that are going to enter the portal that are not in the portal yet, and guys that are already in it. So, yeah, as you construct your team for next year, you got to realize your quarterback's huge for that, but also, running back. There's so many pieces you got to add, and you hope that this version of this team can get a win today to close out this year, as that becomes the main conversation on Friday.
You talk about transfers, and this is where they don't have to have the stars next to their name. Look at the college football playoff this weekend. You have guys like Trinidad Chambliss, who came from Ferris State in Division II football last year, and is one of the better quarterbacks now. Dante Moore didn't play a snap at UCLA, and Oregon went in and said, okay, you know what? We're going to try to convince this guy to come in, sit behind the starter, and then, hey, then it's your time to shine. And so you look up and down the list of college football playoff teams. Even Julian Sayin didn't play a snap at Alabama and went to Ohio State, and they identified him as somebody that they wanted to lead the offense and is able to successfully. And so now, granted, right, Dante Moore, Julian Sayin, they might be 5-star guys. Coaching still matters at the end of the day, and it's just you can't plug and play every single player on your team. That's why the Texas Tech story is so fascinating, because I think what we all came into the season thinking was that they just went out, spent all this money, and they're just going to kind of hope it sticks to the wall. What we've started to realize is they actually blend well together, and that's a big reason why they're having success and why, Jake, you and I think that they very well could beat Oregon.
Texas Tech, they could win the whole thing. Tech could be your national champion possibly. They might lose to Oregon, but I'm saying that I don't think you or I would be shocked if they somehow made a run and won the whole title. Even if they lose to Oregon. So we could say, well, we were wrong, but I don't think we're discounting their chances to win it all and go the way distance. Their defense, which you've never said in the history of Texas Tech, is elite, and their offense again is great. But they're fun to watch. So I'm excited for tomorrow's playoff games and tonight's as well, or today's as well. So, but again, as of right now, Nebraska 14.5-point underdogs as of this very moment, Nick, from Vegas, where we reside at this moment for the next day. We'll head back home tomorrow, back in the show Friday as usual in the studio. But Huskers 14.5-point dogs. So much to talk about still in the show. When we come back, before we get to break though, hey, if you are hungry for breakfast, brunch, or lunch in the downtown Lincoln area, there's a place you should go to. That is Early Bird at 19th and K. It is open right now all the way until 2 p.m. for breakfast, brunch, or lunch. They have everything from breakfast nachos, breakfast tacos, waffles, French toast, pancakes, and the world famous hash holes.
Jake, this time difference is kind of screwing with me. I'm not gonna lie. You said something about Early Bird is open right now, and I look at my clock and it's 4:31 in the morning, and I'm going, wait, what's going on here? Why am I eating 2 pieces of pizza? But here we are. Get to Early Bird because this time difference is really messing with me.
Free and spacious parking at Early Bird 19th. When we come back, hey, Nebraska basketball is still undefeated. We'll discuss last night's game when we come back next on Early Break live from Las Vegas.
You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush. Sponsored by Sandhills Global on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, and family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetable, chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today. Golfing in 72 degrees and perfect conditions in Nebraska doesn't seem possible in December, but it is. Double Eagle Golf is your escape from the bone-chilling cold outside and a reason to keep the clubs out year-round. Book your holiday parties at Double Eagle Golf and make plans to join them for a New Year's Eve party. Gift cards make a great stocking stuffer for Christmas, and don't forget to look ahead to 2026 as spring leagues begin in February. That's all at Double Eagle Golf inside the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street. Online at doubleeagle.golf. Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in December. Try one of their delicious breakfast sandwiches or grilled breakfast burritos. Don't forget to snag a gift card for stocking stuffers and bring your family in from out of town. With 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward, Bagels and Joe. All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket all week for coverage of Nebraska football's appearance in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl. Coverage of Nebraska football's bowl game is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, MWR Building and Fence, and Amigos Kings Classic on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at CoppellCars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
It's that time of year when one episode turns into just one more season, when dessert turns into dinner, and time doesn't exist until the clock strikes midnight. Wait, what time is it? It's time to finish strong. At Planet Fitness, we're not waiting for the new year to give it everything we've got. Enjoy 24-hour access at most clubs when you join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime, and pay nothing until January 17th. Deal ends December 31st. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This
I'm not on drugs. I'm not drunk.
is Early Break. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Who's helping us out for making this coverage possible. Amigos Kings Classic, Advanced Medical Imaging, Ben Bleicher, the team at PRG, Berkshire Hathaway, Ambassador Real Estate, and MWR Building and Fence for allowing us to cover this bowl game from Las Vegas. Nick Sater and myself carry you through early break. DP also is in Vegas. We'll see him for a pregame show from Las Vegas, also for one-on-one as well. So certainly a lot of going on here in Vegas, and we're happy to be here, and thanks for the support making it happen. But Nick, last night we were watching some of it, tracking most of it, Nebraska basketball, playing New Hampshire, which of course Nebraska was, I believe, 30.5-point favorites. Is that right? And us being in Vegas, that means a lot of people looking at those numbers. And at halftime, 3-point lead, people were concerned, saying, all right, number one, will they win? Number two, if they do win, will they cover? Which doesn't matter as much as just winning the game. They did. They win going away. Nebraska wins last night. It was 41-38 at halftime. Final score last night for Nebraska in their win over New Hampshire. A 31-point win, Nick. I'm getting it right now. Final score was 86-55. Huskers 13-0 for the first time since 1928.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. It's better than what we could have imagined at the beginning of the year, obviously, for Nebraska going into the bulk of conference play. Obviously, they've played a couple of conference games and been able to pass those two tests in Wisconsin and Illinois. But now it's the gauntlet. Like now it's the next step. And if Nebraska truly wants to be considered as a top 25 team in basketball, which is even still bizarre for us to say that, if they want to be considered that, then they're going to have to show out here in the next couple of weeks. And it starts Friday. I mean, I think that this on Friday. Yes, it is right up there with No Sit Sunday. I put it even more important than No Sit Sunday. And people are going to disagree with that.
I will.
Yeah, because the NCAA tournament berth was on the line. But Jake, this is a game on Friday that if Nebraska wins it, there's a I don't want to put just a crazy number on it, a 90% chance that Nebraska is a top 10 team in the country next Monday when the AP poll comes out. I don't even know if Husker basketball fans' brains can fathom the idea of Fred Hoiberg's squad being a top 10 team in the country.
I like the sell you're trying to get me on. No. That was the first time Nebraska made the dance in 16 years, but I get where you're going for it in terms of
it's right up there.
I mean, we said in the show before, me and Sip and Bill, is that like, can we ever exist in this idea that Nebraska basketball, if they make the dance, was not by sneaking in or a bubble team? Can they just be, hey, a firmly in team by middle of March saying, okay, it's not if they're in, it's where are they at, who are they playing, how high is their seed? That has never been a conversation in the history of Nebraska basketball. Now, again, they did have some years in the 90s. They were a 3 seed. They were a 6 seed. Yeah, they had a couple years. But in terms of historically and ongoing and just more often than not, it's either they're not in the dance, they're not even close to the dance, or if they are close, they're on the outside looking in or barely in. And that's just not – it's not a way for a program to live. Nebraska fans, they care. They're passionate. They show up. They've been, since PBA existed, a top 10 in attendance almost every single year for a team that has not really, deserved that, frankly, for how they've played. Yeah. So this year, so far, I mean, 13-0, the team's been exciting. They've seen depth in the bench. It's good with Frager off the bench. And last night we saw Oogie for the first time play, 7 points for him. They made a 3-pointer, Nick, late night game. So optimism is high, and you're right. I mean, I get what you're saying in terms of how big the Michigan State game is. It is not bigger to me than No Sit Sunday, but it is something that could elevate you to, yes, hey, how good could this team be? Unfortunately, it is January 2nd on Friday, not March 15th, though.
Yeah. You're right about that. Here's the deal, Jake. I mean, how about this? We're going to learn a lot about Nebraska right off the bat here. In the first 3 games of January, 3 of your first 4 are quad 1 opportunities. 4 of your first 5 in January are quad 1 opportunities. Those ones are Michigan State, at Ohio State, at Indiana. The quad 3 matchup is at home against Oregon right now. And then it's on the road at Northwestern on January 17th. By January 17th, let's just throw that date out there. we're going to know a lot more about this team and what the true ceiling is, right? I think there's some of us that, and we've been asked the question of like, okay, is this team hitting its peak at the wrong time? Is it hitting its peak too early? How can they elevate even more than this? Well, we're about to find out in the next 3 weeks of time, because this is going to be kind of their toughest stretch that they go on. They're going to go on back-to-back road games against Ohio State and Indiana. Here's the thing, Jake. I don't want to sit here and say that this season has a completely different feel around it if Nebraska's 13-3 after that game against Indiana to start Big Ten play here. But if they come back home against Oregon and they're 13-3, it's going to have a completely different vibe than if they were even 15-1. I don't think anybody is sitting here saying that Nebraska needs to go 16 or 17-0 over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
It's just look like a top 15 team that you're ranked to be.
Well, the good thing is that you have not played all non-con games. You are 2-0 in conference play. You played in early December. You obviously beat Illinois, the great game on the road, the buzzer beater win by Jamarcus Lawrence, and of course you beat Wisconsin by 30. So you already 2-0 in conference play. Michigan State to be that 3-0 would be incredible, like you mentioned. And at Ohio State, Indiana in that conversation for Nebraska. I think these are not easy. There's no easy wins in the conference. It's been that way for a long time. It's a good conference for basketball, but you're starting to maybe have a target on your back versus just being, hey, a team that you circle as a win for these programs, which is a great spot to be. Last night, and also I want to address this for the fans who were freaking out. Again, you have every right to freak out. You're a fan. That's what you are. You're a fanatic. But I have friends text me, Nebraska's going to get blasted by Michigan State because they had a bad first half against North Dakota and a bad first half against New Hampshire. I don't care how packed that arena was last night or against North Dakota. And I don't care, how the first half went. For the team, they don't get jacked up to play New Hampshire and North Dakota. Michigan State, they will be prepared. They'll be jacked up. And the fans, like you and I will be in attendance on Friday, that place will be electric. And yeah, you could say, well, it was a full crowd. No, it's not the same thing. You're not jacked up to go to watch Nebraska, New Hampshire. You are jacked up to see Tom Izzo and a top 10 team come to town. So I have zero concerns about these slow starts affecting them against Michigan State.
Yeah, plus to this point, we have to give credit where credit's due. And to this point, Nebraska this season hasn't come out and not eventually taken care of business. Have there been sluggish starts? Have there been maybe some more porous spells than maybe you'd want? Sure, right? But I think every team's going to have that no matter what the outlook of your season is going to be like. But then on top of that is I don't concern myself right now with Fred Hoiberg and his ability or inability to fire up the guys. I think that when he wants to inject life, he has certain ways to do it, and he'll be just fine.
Should point out before we get to break that the last two games, Nebraska has not shot well from three-point land. 5 of 23 last night. Sanford made 3 of 8 for Nebraska. Otherwise, it was not pretty for the team. But if you can survive these games, as they call it, again, these are the scary games where bad teams sometimes beat the good teams in these late December games, and you're shooting that badly, I feel pretty good that this team has proven they are a good shooting team, that will turn for the Michigan State game and going forward. Some stats: Sanford last night, 19 points for the Huskers. Rink Mass, 10 points, 7 rebounds. Sam Hoiberg led the team in rebounds last night. Nick, 10 rebounds and 8 points for Sam Hoiberg. Berkey Buechtengel, another good game, 14 points, 4 boards for him, and off the bench, Braden Frager, 15 points as well. I mentioned Oogie had 7. So, and don't forget, Oogie is going to be a big part of this equation. You're getting him back at the right time to work him in the rotation. He made a nice 3, so he's going to certainly be a value this to help spell Rink Mass and maybe play with Rink Mass once in a while also. But excited to see how he looks in conference play going forward.
Yeah, Oogie, I think we have to remember that this might be a guy that takes away some minutes from Berkey, from also minutes away from maybe a guy like Jared Garcia, who's played some valuable roles down the last couple of weeks, maybe even the month of the season. Jared Garcia has shown up when very few other people maybe had. And there were some times where Jared Garcia by himself pulled Nebraska out of slumps.
How about the Illinois
basketball
game? Illinois.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And so I felt, it's going to be interesting to see kind of how the minutes and the rotation are adjusted as Oogie is fully healthy here.
Huskers win an 86-55, 13-0 record. They will put that on the line against Michigan State on Friday, 8 p.m. Tip-off should be electric at PBA. We will both be there. Can't wait to see the build-up in the Haymarket, the rail yard for that. It's going to be a fun day. But 13-0 is the record. Very fun times for Nebraska basketball, and it's just been a great, great year so far. When we come back, though, Nick, it's time for Song of the Day and our final mailbag of 2025. Email us at earlybreak937@gmail.com or text 464-5685. That's all next on Early Break and the Ticket live from Vegas.
You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush. Sponsored by Sandhills Global on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Don't be fooled by the typical holiday ads this year. A new car for your significant other is a dream, but not a likely reality. Why not upgrade the current car you have with a detail? This year's hot item is a gift certificate from Nebraska Auto Detail to make your car look and smell fully refreshed again. We all have clutter and we all make messes, but it doesn't have to stay like that. Give the gift of a clean car this holiday. Buy your certificate at NebraskaAutoDetail.com or call 402-601-5086 for an appointment today.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's that time of year when one episode turns into just one more season, when dessert turns into dinner, and time doesn't exist until the clock strikes midnight. Wait, what time is it? It's time to finish strong. At Planet Fitness, we're not waiting for the new year to give it everything we've got. Enjoy 24-hour access at most clubs when you join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime, and pay nothing until January 17th. Deal ends December 31st. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at CoppellCars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
We're kicking off 2026 with a party on Friday, January 2nd, featuring Mike Smith and the Bowie Boys, who are turning 93.7 The Ticket into a skate park. You heard that right. Make plans to stop by The Ticket between 5 and 8 p.m. on Friday, January 2nd for a live broadcast of Culture and Coffee from 5 to 7 p.m. and a vintage market plus skate experience hosted by the Bowie Boys from 7 to 8 p.m. This is a party you do not want to miss. Stop by The Ticket prior to the Nebraska basketball game on Friday, January 2nd from 5 to 8 p.m.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top-quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
You love to bash his sports takes.
Now, will you feel like an idiot if you're
No,
a big tough?
never feel like an
If
idiot.
you're a big tough guy this morning,
But you really love to voice your displeasure for his music choices.
he stumbled on an issue that I did not think would generate this much passion and discussion.
It's time for Jake's questionable song of the day on Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Give me what you can tonight.
Song of the Day by Day by the Hooters to end this year. 464-56851 is bad. 10 is good. Texture rating on the starter. Heyman Jewelers. Song of the Day. Crank it up, Buck.
Day by day by day.
Once again, your Song of the Day. Day by the Hooters. 402-464-56851 is bad. 10 is good. Texture rating on the starter Heyman Jewelers. Song of the Day. Nick.
Jake, I'm going to be honest. I wasn't able to hear it, but I do know the song, and therefore it is going to be a strong rating from me. I'm not used to being on this side of the conversation. Do I give it right away? Do I let the suspense build a little bit? What do you want me to do here, Jake?
No, you need to give it right now and say what you want. Read some text.
I'm going to say it's not from my era, obviously, and for that reason, it's not something that I would put on the radio. It would not be a go-to. And so therefore it is going to be a little bit lower on the scoreboard just for that reason. I'm going to give it a 7.2, and we're going to stop with just one value after the decimal point.
Well, I just want to say this too, and I feel bad about this, but when I was gone, of course, Monday, Tuesday, thanks for Nick for covering for you this week as well. But I didn't have time to get everything I wanted to get done ahead of that. And usually I have the same song to end the year, which I'm sad in today because I play a very rock version of Auld Lang Syne by Slade that the people like. Gets high scores. Sip likes that song, and I like it. It gets me, fired up. And I did not have that time to play that, and so unfortunately, that's the song. I like that song. I can't rate my own song. I do like that one, but. Let's get some ratings in the text line, Nick, before we move on. Brett says I would turn the channel on that one too. Okay. Sean in Omaha, 8.5. Shamia B, 4.3. Rick from Wahoo gives that song a 6.5. Guilt Nerd, 0.1. Terrible. Robert in Oklahoma, 725. Bill and Bennett, 765. Lyle in Omaha, 8. Doug in Idaho says 2. Never heard it before. I hope I never hear it again. Okay. Thank you, Doug.
Wow.
Jake, 3. To end the year? Yeah, sorry. Leroy, turn in your man card if you ever had one, 2.2. For that song?
Wow, Jake, you're getting kind of ridiculed here on the text line.
Like I said, Dick, I didn't have the song I wanted to because I didn't have it dubbed in ahead of time. But that song was, I think, at least respectable. Jennifer, 7. Hubby says fun, but gives it a 4. It's a low score for fun.
Those are lower scores than Jennifer and Hubby had the last 2 days. I would just like to point that out. Maybe this is a revolt against you.
And what were the songs the last 2 days, if you're going to recall?
Tuesday, I have to remember this because it's been a long 24 hours here. On Tuesday's show, it was The Gambler by Kenny Rogers, I felt like it was topical for Vegas. Monday was Your Love by The Outfield.
That's a good song.
So Your Love by The Outfield on Monday, and then obviously The Gambler by Kenny Rogers on Tuesday. Got respectable scores from Jennifer and Hubby for the first time in my time filling in on the early break show.
Well done. By the way, Bill Bush has chimed in. He's listening. He says, so you guys choose to hang out in an empty casino in the most exciting and energy-filled city in America. By the way, the song is a 2. Now, Bill, fair assessment, fair critique. We were out and about. We did go to the Strip. Today we'll be out and about the whole day, except for maybe the nap we take after the game to stay alive for New Year's Eve and experience that. I mean, like you said, you enjoyed the Virgin Casino because it wasn't very full. It wasn't very busy. But I get what he's saying. It is an energy-filled city. It's a fun place to be. And we chose to go last night to a place where we're staying at that wasn't overly busy. So I understand his critique. I also get what you said, Nick, that you enjoyed it for someone that was gambling, not having to wait to get to a table. Any table was always available. So, there's 2 sides to that story.
Yeah, you got the
but I
Vegas
understand Bill's
feel.
side too. Yeah.
You got the Vegas feel of the atmosphere and the adrenaline without dealing with the number of people you usually have to deal with while partaking in efforts and activities in Vegas.
A couple more scores before we move on. Phil says 4. Kurt in Northern Kentucky says it's 5. Big B 9-8. Brett says 2. Thunder Not Collins 9-7. And Mouth of the South says, holy crap, Jake, that song sucked. Way to end a year. You are great. Thumbs up. Okay, thank you to Mouth of the South.
I bet they actually meant that.
Probably did. Very, very intentional there. So, I don't know. I like the song. I've always liked the Hooters, and, they've got 4 or 5 good songs, and that's one of them. So thank you for your scores. Okay, it's time for the mailbag. Don't worry about Music Box because it's going to interfere with our talking here in terms of the same pot on the board. So I got a couple of questions from the mailbag. We start off with John Swim says this. Good morning, Jake. Today is my birthday. I am 68 years old. When I was little, my mother would always make German chocolate cake for my birthday cake. Do you have a certain type of cake that you would want for your birthday? Nick,
easy.
Go ahead first.
Red velvet in the heartbeat. Red velvet's the best type of cake and flavor of cake that there is out there. Nobody can tell me otherwise. And red velvet is the choice that I would have when I was growing up, or when I'm the age I am now, and it probably will be if I'm lucky enough to make it to John's age of 68 years.
68 years old for John, yeah. I said it before in the show, it's not really a cake for me. Texas brownies were my go-to. Texas sheet cake would be what people call that.
Okay.
It's like a flatter version of a brownie. It's got cake remnants to it. I don't even know how to describe a Texas brownie. Somebody help me out if you have one. I know Bill.
If it's your favorite dessert, you should be able to describe it pretty well.
I can't describe it. It's just delicious. There's chocolate involved. It's a chocolate.
It's just delicious. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. That's awesome.
I don't really know why it's different, but it's less fluffy than a regular brownie. How about that? It's not a fluffy thing.
Is it a little crispier, crunchier? Like, are the edges crunchier? Like, what are we working with here?
Let's go with that. So, you think brownies are more like a little taller. It's a flatter version of a brownie, but it's not covered like in frosting. I don't think it's a very big glaze. I haven't had it in 30, 25 years. I don't remember, but I remember when I was a kid, that was my go-to for sure. Texas sheet cake brownies.
That makes me think of stuff that was offered to us at Pius called Oreo Blondies, and essentially they were made on a giant cookie sheet, and they just cut them into squares, and they weren't very thick, but they were the best dessert that Pius offered. How was the Beatrice food, or at Beatrice High for you?
Oh, it was okay. I mean,
okay.
It was high school food. We got Valentino's every other week, which was great on Wednesdays.
That's
that was
huge.
Very popular with people. They had their own separate thing every day on the far right. Like it could be a ballpark theme, it could be Mexican theme, it could be seafood theme, and that was extra. And you had to pay extra for that to eat that. And so if you were a big eater and you could take all you want, you might do the ballpark one or the Mexican one and just load up on your tray. I did a couple times ever, so I don't need to have all this food. I'll just have the normal cuisine. But it was okay. I mean, I'm still alive. I'm 34 years old, so here I am, Nick. It didn't kill me. So
well, I didn't expect Beatrice's cafeteria to kill you, but Jake, okay, what has
sounded
changed?
like you did.
What has changed? Because I'm gonna kind of throw you under the bus here, because I would
Whoa.
expect you to do the same thing to me here. You eat a lot. And so you like to snack a lot. So don't come on.
I don't
here
snack
and
that
act-
much. Hang on. No. I don't think I'm a
Don't
big
come at-
snacker. What do I
Jake,
snack on? At the
I've
station, what
never
do I
seen somebody-
snack on?
Okay, well, no, maybe not snack, but I've never seen
candy?
somebody so excited to get jumbo shrimp at a restaurant
That's
wherever
not
we
candy,
are at.
sir. That's not candy
not.
at all.
It's
and
not.
That's not
It's
even
substance.
a snack.
Well, we used it as a snack last night
Since
at dinner
when
because it was an appetizer.
Since when in the history of mankind has anybody referred to shrimp as a snack of any sort?
It's not. I wouldn't say it's a snack, but I would say that that we used it as an appetizer last night, and at the restaurant that we attended, and it was very good. But nobody, Jake, you eat so much and you just like don't gain weight, and I don't understand how it's possible.
What do you
and
think?
it
Eating
pisses
just
me off.
vats of ice cream, and what do you think I'm eating here? Like I know it's going to affect me if it's going to make me, gain a bunch of weight. I'm not going to just go eat 3 bags of chips unless I'm at a Mexican restaurant, which I do by accident, and I can't stop myself because I have no self-control at Mexican restaurants.
That's
I
my
have
point.
No self-control.
That is my point.
I don't eat there every day though. I eat there, maybe once or twice a month at a Mexican place, and so that's why I have my, my letdown. But if it was daily, sure, I could see you have this concern for me and my weight and my snacking.
When was the last time you ran?
I'm glad you asked that. We actually ran last, maybe Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday. We ran. Yeah, I know. It was surprising. Thank you for asking that, Nick. We did run this past week.
Thank you for asking. I wanted to talk about when we ran, because you always make sure that I know. Hey, Nick, I ran 4 miles yesterday. You always make sure that I know, and so I just wanted to give you a chance to share it with the folks.
I'll read something off YouTube real quick. Jace says, terrible radio for game day. Disappointing. Jace, we're up at 4 a.m. Vegas time, man. I'm sorry. I'm trying to do what we can do. It's mailbag. We do mailbag every day, every Wednesday.
We've also gotten told on the text line. We can go up and down the text line about talking about how good Idle Chit Chat was and how much everybody enjoyed it. So
Thanks,
we're going to
Jace.
sit here
It's all right.
and
Yeah,
we appreciate you listening, but to each their own.
When we got up in the 3 o'clock hour to do radio, we're just trying to make our ways, in Vegas, and we'll be at the game. And so I'm sorry that they feel that way, but we'll keep doing our best. The conservative Husker, Nick, says this. Nick, do you get your eyebrows done? Is anyone else distracted by Nick's eyebrows? Mailbag, swim. Answer the people.
I do.
Come on, straight honesty.
And here is the reason why is because a lot of them are genetics. If even like my cousins and everything, they got this whole point like right here that just like grows in an entirely different direction. And so I understand that that's part of benefit. If you're on the video stream, you can see what I just talked about. Basically, my unibrow just grows like a freaking Sasquatch, and so I got to get them taken care of. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. We're on camera. We do events. We go out and we're in the public, and I got to make sure I look decently presentable. And so, yeah, I do get them taken care of like once every month. Like it's not like a once every other week type of thing. Like
Well,
it's
now-
not a
now people know. See, it's important.
Yeah, and I'm not ashamed to admit it.
By the way, getting some response on the text line. Jane in Wahoo says a Texas sheet cake is a brownie in a pan with cooked frosting with nuts. No nuts in our brownies for sure. But yes, That sounds right. MT Westy says Texas brownies are the dessert that old ladies make for whatever church function is happening. Yeah, I like that kind of dessert. MT Westy, you're right. That's good. And shrimp, for those for you criticizing me for my shrimp loving, Nick, someone says shrimp is a lean protein. Good call, Jake. Thank you, Doug. Yeah, I'm not here eating bags of chips. I get your snacking critique. If that was the case, I eat somewhat healthy. I do have candy at the station. I'll admit I do eat the candy there. But I'm not
trying to
eating
force feed
47
candy
pieces
on
a day.
everybody else. That's
I
the
do.
problem.
Yeah, I
You
do.
force feed
Okay.
candy on other people.
Yes, I do. Okay, and I will never stop it. I do not resolve next year to be better at that. I resolve to do the same thing that happened for that. So get used to it.
So anyway,
by the way, Headhunter says Big Swim busting Jake about food and running. Swim, when did you last run?
I actually, funny you asked that. I'm glad you asked that because I just ran on Monday.
See, I think
So-
we both ran Monday then. I think we both did that.
There you go.
Last thing before we get to break for the mailbag is this is from Tommy. He says, all right, you guys have had a great time in Vegas so far. What's the one thing you want to do today before you guys leave Vegas besides the bowl game, of course? What is today's highlight you want to have?
Man, okay, actually, I do want this.
Nick's would be make more money.
No, that's not it. If that happens, then so be it. Great. If it doesn't, it's okay. I think one thing that I'm really looking forward to, and I want to make sure we kind of prepare ourselves for this, is the fireworks show. We've heard from multiple people, not only at the restaurant but also just in other establishments, that they close down the strip at 6 p.m. Vegas time.
At least to drive into it. I think you can walk in there, right? Can we walk in there past 6?
I don't think you can walk. I don't think you can just walk across all the sidewalks. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but they said that all of the hotels along the strip sync their fireworks together. And so it just creates this massive fireworks show in basically downtown Las Vegas. And so, we get, there's a lot of really cool perks to this job. And obviously going to the games and being a part of it is one of them. And first and foremost, but there's also, we get to be in Vegas on New Year's Eve. And
yeah.
I would not do this on my own. And so that's one of those things that I look at and I go, okay, you know what? While we're here, I'll probably never try to come back to Vegas on New Year's Eve. And so while we're here, we have to make sure we try to live it up and see something like the fireworks show.
It is going to be odd, Nick, before we get to break. It's going to be odd that when the East Coast reaches midnight, we will be at 9 p.m. over here.
That is true. I
Happy
barely
New
make it
Year's.
to the
It's
East
9
Coast.
o'clock. It's 9 o'clock. What are you talking about?
Jake, I barely make it to the East Coast time normally when we're back home. And so I don't know what's going to happen tonight now on no sleep.
Also, Kobe on YouTube says, swim runs to the fridge do not count as going for a run.
That's crazy. That's wild. Jake, you can monitor those and you don't have to read those ones out loud into the public.
So thank you. I did that. I don't read all of them. The ones I want to read, I read. So that is the mailbag, sponsored by our friends at Applied Connective Technologies. Go to appliedconnective.com for a free consultation on how you can help your IT and avoid being hacked. When we come back, hour 2, let's talk more of Nebraska, Utah, Las Vegas Bowl live here on Vegas Early Breaking the Ticket.
You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush. Sponsored by Sandhills Global on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket all week for coverage of Nebraska football's appearance in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl. Coverage of Nebraska football's bowl game is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, MWR Building and Fence, and Amigos Kings Classic on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Don't be fooled by the typical holiday ads this year. A new car for your significant other is a dream, but not a likely reality. Why not upgrade the current car you have with a detail? This year's hot item is a gift certificate from Nebraska Auto Detail to make your car look and smell fully refreshed again. We all have clutter and we all make messes, but it doesn't have to stay like that. Give the gift of a clean car this holiday. Buy your certificate at NebraskaAutoDetail.com or call 402-601-5086 for an appointment today. Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
It's that time of year when one episode turns into just one more season, when dessert turns into dinner, and time doesn't exist until the clock strikes midnight. Wait, what time is it? It's time to finish strong. At Planet Fitness, we're not waiting for the new year to give it everything we've got. Enjoy 24-hour access at most clubs when you join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime, and pay nothing until January 17th. Deal ends December 31st. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Tread's Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Tread Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Tread Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
The holidays are here, and there's every reason to make Tipsy Tina's Taco Cantina part of your plans. Are you heading to a Nebraska basketball game? Stop at Tipsy Tina's before or after for delicious tacos. Meeting friends for drinks for an ugly sweater get-together? Enjoy Tipsy Tina's variety of margaritas. And if you're not sure about what to get for a gift this year, Tipsy Tina's gift cards are always a great idea. Don't forget about the event space at Salt next door to Tipsy Tina's, all of them located in the Haymarket at 8th and Q.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference? Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
January is your reset button. This January 10th, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping in Lincoln is kicking off our 10-week challenge. We combine high-energy kickboxing, powerful strength training, and simple, proven nutrition to deliver real results in just 10 weeks. For a limited time, get $150 off when you enroll today. No gimmicks, just coaching, accountability, and a community that pushes you to win. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Visit fxblincoln.com and start your strongest year yet at Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. 2 locations, South 40th and Yankee Hill, North 70th and Vine. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, changing lives 10 weeks at a time.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Wake up, Lincoln.
I overslept. Damn rooster didn't crow.
It's time for Early Break, sponsored by Midwest Bank. Live from Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
I'm wrong, but I'm not.
Husker Online, Steve Sipple.
If I were a feral cat.
And longtime college football assistant coach, Bill Bush.
You get one team. Mine's the Houston Oilers.
So-
I'm not the Texans, and I'm not the Titans. So I'm out.
This is Early Break.
Welcome back to Hour 2 on New Year's Eve Wednesday. Steve Sipple out today. He'll be at the bowl game. Bill Bush also out. Jake Sorensen, Nick Saban with you live from Las Vegas ahead of the Las Vegas Bowl here. Just, let's see, we'll do some quick math here, Nick. Is that 7 hours away from kickoff? Just under over 7 hours? You're muted there, Nick. Can't hear you.
Let's try that again. A little bit
There
under
we
7
go.
hours, if in my calculations. 6:30 to 12:30 is 6 hours there. But
Thank you.
No, I'm curious. I was listening to the open of the show.
Yeah.
You and I are here in our hotel rooms doing the show. Is there any reason specifically Steve Sipple is not making himself available to do a segment or two of the show from his hotel room?
It's a great question. Thank you for asking. As you know, Sip is very difficult to get a hold of when he is not in the studio. When he is there, he is there. When he is not there, it's hit or miss, especially at 4 a.m., probably more likely a miss than a hit. So that's why Sip has not chimed in. He's always welcome to join in. And, Bill was with us the last 2 days, so I gave him the chance to be off today. I'm glad he's taking that.
Yes.
He is listening. He chimed in for the song of the day. But that's why you have not heard from Sip at all. And, we will see him for the pregame show, and we'll see him also Friday for the show back in studio for when we're all back to normal on Friday. So there you go.
I just feel like it'd probably be good for us if Sip was participating in this as well. I'm sure at some point in the very near future he's going to wake up. I don't know if Sip is an early riser or if he likes to sleep in when he doesn't have a show to do. That is, but I think it'd be good to sit here and say, you know what, Sipple, we can't just keep using the card of you're older and you don't know how to work technology as reasons to not do a segment of radio.
Sure. And you are certainly on no sleep also. So you're fighting through it, Nick.
By choice. Thanks
again to our sponsors who are making this possible of our coverage from Vegas. Amigos Kings Classic, Advanced Medical Imaging, Ben Blanker of PRG Berkshire Hathaway, Ambassador Real Estate, and MWR Building and Fence. All right. So we've talked about, Nick, at length, throughout the offseason, throughout the season for years now, is bowl momentum real? And I think now more than ever, when we talk about bowl games being, what's the future of bowl games? Are we going to have bowl games beyond the playoff? How big is the playoff getting? And do teams like Notre Dame opt out of bowl games going forward? Who knows? And so I think 10 years ago, you could say that, bowl games way more important to people. Teams didn't opt out. Bowl momentum meant something. But when you have teams willingly saying we're not going to play in the bowl, like Notre Dame and others out there, Kansas State, Iowa State, because of coaching changes, does it make you ask the question about, hey, what does a win today really do if other teams are so inclined to not play, they don't want to play at all? Like how much could this win today actually inspire legitimate momentum for 2026 for Nebraska's case?
I don't know what it does in the locker room. I think for the fan base, it maybe makes it taste a little bit better than it possibly could or possibly should. If you're able to kind of, Bill was saying this kind of yesterday and earlier this week, how 2 years down the road from this point, we're not going to sit there and go, well, look, maybe that win against Utah wasn't as important or wasn't as exciting, I guess, as it is, or respectable because they were out their top two tackles and some key players defensively, and Kyle Whittingham left. No, you know what the conversation is going to be in a couple of years is, hey, Nebraska. Remember when Nebraska beat a top 20 Utah team in a bowl game? And so I think from a fan based perspective, yeah, I think it is. There is some stuff that it can maybe allow the season to taste a little bit better as you go into the offseason, and a long offseason that's going to look a lot different and be very, very busy over the course of the next couple of months. Now, from an internal standpoint, Jake, like I still, whatever happens today, I think you and I are both on the same page where we're going to look at this season in big picture form and go, yeah, there were some missed opportunities out there for Nebraska for sure.
Yeah, and I think for this game, Nick, if Nebraska were to lose, you have the same record as last year, 7-6. I mean, again, bowl game. Yeah, you made the bowl game. That's something to be, that you achieve. But even in the years that we had 7 straight years of no bowls, like the standard was still, hey, we want to be a playoff team. Like we didn't go to Nebraska. We don't fill that stadium up just to watch a team that's barely 6-6, 7-6. Like, so yes, even though this year was still probably like a C to C plus, maybe in terms of the grade of the season, that could get a pretty big shift up to the B range with the win over a ranked team that, yes, again, like you mentioned, new head coach, guys out, whatever. There's opt-outs. We get that. But you're trying to put a bow on a season that needs a bow. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't have that win. You had chances to beat USC at home and you didn't win it. You had a chance to beat Michigan at home and you didn't do it. Your biggest win is either Cincinnati, which is a good win at Arrowhead, or Northwestern. That's it. Like, you don't have a marquee win. This would it be it to cap off a bowl season. Like, there's a lot in play if they win this game today to make you feel some validity of this season was some sort of progress.
I think I'm not in the minority here when I say this. The last couple of weeks of the season were really uncomfortable. The last couple of weeks of the regular season, that is. Like, I'm trying to think back to who they played prior to Iowa and trying to go in order there. But nonetheless, it was like Penn State obviously was involved. UCLA was in there in some regard as well. But specifically the Penn State and Iowa game, those last those 2 weeks and then the first week of the week after Iowa, that is, they were very uncomfortable. And sure, like Nebraska made some staff changes and that might be part of it. But I think we started to see and hear some Husker fans, maybe not doubt, but start to just question some things about this program going forward. I think that Husker fans, as astute and as smart and as knowledgeable as they are, can look at a product and go, okay, is this where it technically should be in year 3? And we kind of heard then Matt Rule come out and defend and be like, well, look, the cupboards were kind of bare when I got here. We had which is a completely different shift from what it was when he got here. We remember Nebraska fans loved the way that Matt Rule said, hey, look, I don't care if I recruited these guys. I obviously wasn't their coach, but they're my guys. And that's what he said in day one. And now it was a complete shift. I think Husker fans are smart enough to pick up on that and kind of go, okay, we're not doubting that Matt Rule is the guy for the job. We're just more hesitant to maybe be all in as we were back in August.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why, again, we talked about earlier in the show about momentum for next season and the portal and what guys come in. I mean, today, if you want reason for optimism, if for a win, if they can win a football game without Emmett Johnson playing, again, sitting out because he's going to the draft. Great decision by Emmett Johnson to stay healthy and get ready for the combine and the draft. That'd be huge. We have said all year long, Nick, is there a number 2 running back in the team? Mekhi Nelson has not taken that role very well. Mosey is not either. So if they today can go into the offseason and say, listen, maybe these guys aren't our top backs next year, but we have something with them, versus just having no idea what you have. And don't forget, no Rocco Spindler today for Nebraska at guard. You're missing him. And so Utah certainly has guys opting out, not playing too, and have injuries as well. But there's so much to learn about guys. We have not even seen that much today. That could, is it legitimate momentum? I don't know, but it's something better than nothing if they actually have good games against Utah today.
Yeah, you're right about that. I think, it's important for us to be, putting things into perspective and remember things here to where we've been clamoring and shouting from the rooftops for Nebraska to find somebody that can carry the rock to the level that Emmett Johnson did this year, not only in the volume of carries, but also in the efficiency and in the statistical categories like yards after contact, rushing touchdowns, things like that. And so we have to be careful not to back ourselves. Jake, I don't think you were doing this, but we have to be careful not to back ourselves into like a corner to where it's like, all right, now what is behind Emmett Johnson? Because I think I agree with you in that there's a lot of uncertainty around Mekhi Nelson and Isaiah Mosey, right? And in terms of what they can do maybe in the years going forward. But that's exactly where we were also at last year with Emmett Johnson. And we have to remember that. So I kind of send this caution out to Husker fans. We can't have it both ways. We can't sit here before the season or even in the offseason and go, man, Nebraska just needs to find somebody that can get a guy that totes the rock 30 times a game and is able to be the dude. And then once Nebraska finds that, like they did this year, we can't go back and go, well, gosh dang, Nebraska doesn't have anybody behind them. They got to go find somebody to be an instant impact starter in the portal. We got to make sure that we kind of tiptoe that fine line there as just observers of this team, because we can't have it both ways. It's just not possible.
I think that it's important, Nick, to point that out. That I was looking last night at Emmett Johnson, and Emmett Johnson, went to the portal briefly last year, came back, and certainly had an incredible year. Before this season, Emmett Johnson had a total of 3 rushing touchdowns. That's it. He had 2 touchdowns rushing in 2023 and 1 last year. 598 was his most yards. Of course, he more than doubles that this year. So that's why you're saying, Nick, that potentially you have that guy in your roster. We didn't see Emmett a ton the previous 2 years. Yeah, he had 117 carries in 2024 and 90 the year before versus 251 this year. But maybe if Nelson with some more reps can have a more success, and Mosey possibly. You don't know if these guys on your roster can have that kind of elevation, but that's why it's this portal for 2 weeks. It's going to be chaos about how do you determine what you have and what you need and what you can get.
Yeah, you're right. And don't forget, Emmett Johnson was the one. I mean, so you mentioned the statistics of Emmett Johnson before this season. He kind of broke out in the Pinstripe Bowl last year. He and Quentin Ives, along with Ramir Johnson, had themselves a pretty nice day in some crappy weather out in New York. Jake, you and I were both there, obviously, but you'll remember, that Emmett Johnson, I want to say he had close to 70 yards rushing, had a touchdown catch to his stat line last year in the bowl game.
I'm looking at
as
that
well.
Right now, Nick.
That was confirm with that.
15 carries, 75 yards against Boston College. 4 catches, 24 yards, and a touchdown receiving. He lost a fumble in that game too. But otherwise, he had a pretty good game.
Yeah, we sat there and said, okay, maybe this is a guy that can kind of burst onto the scene next year. We'll talk about this later in the show, and I know we're getting close to a break here in the next couple of minutes. But it's one of those things. I think also of what I'm most intrigued by today is who is this year's Donovan Jones and Vincent Shavers.
Sure.
Who is this year's Emmett Johnson, right? Do we see, since this game today does not count towards redshirt numbers, do we see Willis McGahee for the first time really in a meaningful game setting? What is a guy like Justin Rhett, who's going to be taking over for Deshaun Singleton as he's out following surgery? What does that look like in the secondary for Nebraska? There's a lot that, sure, if Nebraska wins this game, it's going to be great. But I'm more interested, I think, today in some individual performances more so than I am even in the team performance.
100%, you're right. Donovan Jones, did anybody know that name before the game last year? I remember we were at that game. I said, who's 37? Who is that guy? And you're like, I think that's Donovan Jones. I'm like, I don't really know who he is. And criticize me all you want, Nebraska fans, if that's bad. We hadn't seen him play the whole year, very minimally. So that's why in that game he was very impressive. And this is a chance for somebody to step up. And you mentioned Justin Redd's the guy that's getting a lot of publicity in the last few weeks for this, and maybe he has a great game. But it would be fun if we were talking today at 4:00 Vegas time about obviously a Nebraska win, but hey, how about this guy coming out of nowhere to have this kind of game? And that stuff happens in bowls all the time now. You look at all these different games with all the opt-outs. We're having players across the country get their chance to shine and really impress. And why can't that be Nebraska? By the way, the Big Ten has only 1 loss in bowl play. That was by a miracle last night. USC was up against TCU in overtime. They had a 3rd and 20, and TCU scored in a long play to the outside to win that game 30-27. Otherwise, if USC wins, the Big Ten would be 7-0 in bowl games, with Nebraska having a chance to make that 8-0. And then obviously Ohio State plays against Miami tonight. We'll get to that later on the show. But there's a lot to play for, and conference pride is legitimate right now. The Big Ten is super proud of these bowl games, and they're proud nobody opted out. Big 12, Iowa State, K-State, Notre Dame opts out. We're playing our games in this conference, and we care. We're going to win. You and I watched Northwestern pound their bowl opponent to get to I think they win their 5th or 6th straight bowl game. This matters. Minnesota, same thing. They want this postseason to matter. Is it actual momentum for them? I don't know, but they want to win these games badly, and they won, I think, 7 bowl games in a row now or something like that.
I was just going to say that PJ Fleck is 7-0 in bowl games in Michigan, and that just continues to shock and infuriate me. Now, it's not against the toughest opponent, right? They played Central Michigan this year. Northwestern, I believe, played Central Michigan. I can't remember who Minnesota played. Somebody similar to that. Might have even been Western Michigan if I forgot who the first one was, or who Northwestern played. But either way, it is a conversation for Nebraska that, and when I said earlier about the individual performances, I think it all then builds up to the team performance. You have a couple of guys that show out individually, then it's going to put the team in a better spot to maybe show some things of what we can expect next year in 2026. Because I do think offensively, especially, this thing's going to look a little bit different.
Yeah, 100%. When we come back, it is time for an edition of the final one of the year of Bill's Thrills. We'll do Jake's Takes today, live from Las Vegas. More of Early Break next year on The Ticket.
You're listening to coverage of Nebraska football in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl on 93.7 The Ticket. Bowl game coverage is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, MWR Building and Fence, Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and Amigos Kings Classic. This is Nebraska football bowl game coverage on 93.7 The Ticket.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Don't be fooled by the typical holiday ads this year. A new car for your significant other is a dream, but not a likely reality. Why not upgrade the current car you have with a detail? This year's hot item is a gift certificate from Nebraska Auto Detail to make your car look and smell fully refreshed again. We all have clutter and we all make messes, but it doesn't have to stay like that. Give the gift of a clean car this holiday. Buy your certificate at NebraskaAutoDetail.com or call 402-601-5086 for an appointment today.
Unearth the secret to long-lasting tires at Treads Central Tire Pros, a league apart in commitment, service, and expertise. This isn't just about rubber meeting the road, but trust, safety, and surety converging in perfect harmony. This is where expectations are exceeded every time. Make your appointment today at Treads Central Tire Pros, just south of Cortland on Highway 77, or visit our website to explore our services. Remember, when it comes to tires, choose Treads Central Tire Pros because we tread differently.
Looking for a financial partner that truly makes a difference?
Modern Woodman is a member-owned fraternal financial services organization. We can help you plan for all stages of life, from protection to saving to retirement. We also offer member benefits, social activities, and volunteer opportunities to help your family and community.
I'm Sean Erickson, your Modern Woodman representative in Lincoln. Call me at 402-483-6515 to start the conversation.
Modern Woodman of America, touching lives, securing futures.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket all week for coverage of Nebraska football's appearance in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl. Coverage of Nebraska football's bowl game is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, MWR Building and Fence, and Amigos Kings Classic on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
January is your reset button. This January 10th, Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping in Lincoln is kicking off our 10-week challenge. We combine high-energy kickboxing, powerful strength training, and simple, proven nutrition to deliver real results in just 10 weeks. For a limited time, get $150 off when you enroll today. No gimmicks, just coaching, accountability, and a community that pushes you to win. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Visit fxblincoln.com and start your strongest year yet at Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. 2 locations, South 40th and Yankee Hill, North 70th and Vine. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, changing lives 10 weeks at a time.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Hey guys, it's Carly from Boyd Farm Outfitters. Farmers, you need to know about Green Eye Spot Spray. With Green Eye, we replace your existing spray boom with a brand new aluminum boom equipped with camera technology that identifies and sprays only weeds and not your crop. The boom comes with 2 spray lines so you can still broadcast residual herbicide while you're spot spraying weeds that are up. Green Eye users in Nebraska are saving a ton of money on herbicides, but that's just the beginning. Learn more at BoydFarmOutfitters.com. That's BOECK FarmOutfitters.com.
It's basketball season, and Salt Mine City is your pregame and postgame headquarters in the Haymarket for craft beers and great food. Get ready for the game with their big, fatty 7-ounce hamburger or try a Reuben sandwich served on Blackstone rye bread. And don't forget their beef or chicken nachos with guacamole, sour cream, jalapenos, and more. Wash it down with one of their 12 beers on tap, including the popular Single Axle Light American Lager. Salt Mine City, your basketball headquarters, now open at 2 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. Friday through Sunday at 8th and R.
It's the holiday season. Time for work parties, friend get-togethers, and family gatherings, which means lots of eating. Maybe you think you've perfected your holiday meals, and maybe you have no idea where to even start. Let's fix that right now. No holiday party is complete without Führer's cheese spread. It goes well with any type of cracker, pretzels, apples, chili, vegetable chips, and of course, it's perfect to pair with wine or beer. Holiday meals aren't complete until Führer's cheese spread is on the table. Find your own container at your nearest local grocery store today.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
We're on the air.
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
To more of Early Break.
Jake, you're a freaking nutcase.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Once again, we are live in Las Vegas for the Vegas Bowl. Nick Sainer joins me, Jake Sorensen, here from the hotel, the Virgin Hotel. It's just about a mile south of the Strip here in Vegas. Nick's new favorite casino in the world is right here at the Virgin. We have been to the Strip. We'll go back to the Strip, I'm sure, at some point tonight for the fireworks. But thanks to our sponsors again for helping us be out here. Amigos Kings Classic, Advanced Medical Imaging, Ben Bleicher of PRG, Berkshire Hathaway, Ambassador Real Estate, and MWR Building and Fence. We'll get to Bill's Thrills in a second, Nick. Before that, I want to address a text here. A couple texts coming in.
Is this about me again, or are you
no? This is actually about me actually this time. Evan, on the text line says this: "Holy crap, Jake sounds like he's been on a 3-day bender, not in good shape for radio." Am I in bad shape for radio right now, Nick?
You don't sound bad over my speakers or over my AirPods, but once again, that doesn't mean anything. My computer sounds like it's going to blow up. So
is it making the spaceship sound? It's loud. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is very, very loud. And so I'm sitting here going, oh boy, we have an hour and 15 minutes left of the program here. And then we have the drive to follow. I don't know if my little MacBook is going to make it through the
it
stuff
sounds
today.
good on my end. Yeah, you sound fine over here. So I don't know if it's just me or if it's Evan. I mean, again, I am on a low sleep. I didn't have a bender, though. I only had, I think I had 2 beers total yesterday, Nick. Two.
That was another thing I'll say this. That was one thing about the Virgin that I found out. Complimentary drinks. You don't see that. You don't see that very often anymore. It's complimentary drinks, and so
we got a big word used on YouTube. John says these two hosts, hello, it's Nick and Jake, sound ambivalent as to whether Nebraska wins tonight or not. You would never have seen this attitude in the 70s or 90s. Sad to see. That's not our problem. You're right. That's the issue of Nebraska's program. Again, since 2001, last time in a title game, they have been average at best. Bo Pelini had them, a couple, 3 out of 4 years in the title game of the conference and lost every time. Close game against Texas, close game against Oklahoma, not a close game against Wisconsin. You had chances to get over the hump and maybe get this thing built. It didn't happen. They were close, and then ever since then, Mike Riley didn't work out. Scott Frost didn't work out. Matt Rule so far, again, has not worked out. It just hasn't gone to a level of getting over the hump, which you thought you'd get in year 3. I think it's also, Nick, part of the confusion or the anger is that we were sold Matt Rule's timeline at Temple and Baylor of year 3 is kind of the big leap year. The schedule was for the taking. You had Raiola in the second year, and it didn't happen. So there's confusion, some anger, and just really people that just aren't really sure where this is going. But that's better than think it's going nowhere at all, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you there. I think the general consensus from a lot of people, myself included, is that it's headed in the right direction. Maybe just not in the fashion and as quick as Nebraska fans feel like it could be. Especially as you look forward to next year, and this is going to sound like a Debbie Downer take, but I think there's genuine concern for what Nebraska could look like next year. Record-wise, the record doesn't tell the entire story, but it certainly does on a surface level. And the schedule next year, teams you have to play, it is a lot harder than this year. And I don't want to keep using that as a reason to why Nebraska needs to win today, but it certainly can be viewed as one of the biggest.
Got some more response before we get to Bill's Thrills, Nick. Derek says it sounds like I'm in a tube or underwater, so it's not maybe the sound of me. It's
interesting.
I don't have the fancy mic that Nick has, and that's my own fault. I'm not on remote very often. I'm usually, when Nick's not either, but I'm usually almost 99% of the time in the studio, so I did not have one of those fancy mics that Nick has. But he's got that casino money from last night. He can get a couple more of those.
Yeah, you know what? I bought this microphone 15 minutes ago. Okay. Anyway, I did not. No, what I think, what also is contributing to people thinking you might be on a bender is the fact that you're sitting in a half lit room.
Yeah, and listen, I have this. The lights are all the way on.
Are you just, Jake? Your hotel room is very different from mine.
No, it is. Mine's bigger than yours for some reason. I don't know why.
But you're on the 6th floor, and I'm on the 11th.
I'm sitting in between 2 light fixtures that have great light, and it's not showing that for some reason.
Well, you elected to go with the hat today, and so that's
I don't have much hair to it. So I'm doing that.
What does that have to do with anything?
I don't know. I just said anyways.
You don't wear a hat most days.
No, I don't. Maybe I should do that more often. Okay, it's time to fire up Bill's Thrills, and we'll pass on playing the intro. But Bill's Thrills is sponsored by our friends at Diner Contracting, your go-to for
Randy.
Thank you. Nice. Thank you for your kitchen, bathroom, whole house more. Please call or text Randy at 402-5204. Okay, Bill's Thrills, last one of the year, Jake's Takes, is simply this. Let's hear the best of the year. Now, this is not Mozzarella Monday. It's not that. I want to know from the breakers, again, whether it's personal, whether it's your sports, like what was the best of your year? 464-5685. Interactive time with you. Nick, I mean, for me, if I had answered that, the best of my year was a couple things. I went to Hawaii back in May. That was awesome for a week. That was a blast. I had a great time there. I loved going to Arrowhead for the KC game. That was fun. Nebraska won. It was incredible. It was like 70 degrees. It was perfect for late August. Unbelievable weather. We were at the Royal Stadium before that for our pregame show. And then, basketball in delivery. The Crown was fun to watch. That it wasn't what you wanted to make for the tournament. But I'd say personally going to Hawaii was my best of the year. And then sports-wise, really enjoyed the Thursday night game in KC. And that stadium was popping. It was raucous. The game was entertaining. It delivered a good product, I thought. And Cincinnati, until they folded later on this year, was a good team for a long time. So that would be the best of my year. You guys can text 402-464-5685. Best year personally and best of your year in sports would be our Bill Thrills, Jake's Takes today. What do you got, Swim?
So I think I'm going to go in line with you in saying that a trip was one of my favorites. In August for a week, I went to Canada, went to cottage country.
Yes.
And that was incredible. About 2.5 hours north of Toronto for a week. That was really, really nice. For sporting events, though, it has to be Game 3 of the NLDS, the Chicago Cubs against the Milwaukee Brewers. By the grace of God, we were in Chicago. Austin Orman and I were in Chicago for Big Ten basketball media days, and the Cubs ended up hosting a playoff game at Wrigley Field. Not only was it my first time at Wrigley Field, it was my first Cubs game. And as a diehard Cubs fan, it's going to be real hard to top that environment. The Cubs beat the Brewers that night before going back to Milwaukee and losing the next 2 games, 2 games in Milwaukee to lose the series. But that was by far the best sporting event I attended.
This is not intended to be a shot at you, Nick, but this is honesty. Yeah. I've known you for I don't know, 6 years. Is it 6 years? I don't know. How long? And you
5.5.
5.5. You are a diehard Cubs fan.
Yeah.
I'm still a little shocked that at age 24 that you went to your first Cubs game, whether it was in Kauffman at a Royals game or even go to Denver, possibly to Coors Field, or just going to Wrigley. I know the games are expensive at Wrigley Field. I get that, but it shocks me as the sports fan you are that maybe in college you didn't even make a trip out to Wrigley with some friends to go see Wrigley.
I'll be honest, it was always on our bingo card, but it just never lined up. It just never lined up. So I just, as every other person, grew up watching the Cubs on WGN. That's how you become a fan. And I remember watching Alfonso Soriano and Carlos Zambrano and Giovanni Soto, Ryan Theriot at shortstop for the Chicago Cubs.
Zambrano, nice pull.
Yeah. He threw out the first pitch at Game 3 of the NLDS that we attended. So it was, that's just how every kid grew up watching the Cubs and started cheering for them. And so on WGN. And so that's the way I started. And then I really haven't started traveling as much as I have until these last 2 years or so. And I've really tried to make a conscious effort to go out and see new places. And so I don't know, college, you didn't have a lot of money in college, Jake. Not all of us
I just said
in a tax bracket.
I just said one game ever, maybe in potentially Kansas City, where it's not as expensive as Wrigley Field. Okay.
I wasn't able to sell books as a college student to make money.
Well, you could have. You just chose not to. Shout out to Southwestern. Okay. Got a couple responses from the text line in terms of let's hear the best of your year. Let's see. Someone says a trip to Ireland. This is Jane and Wahoo. Trip to Ireland and Husker volleyball season. It was just simply amazing, even with the way it ended. That's a good response. Jane, Big Bird says, welcome to our third baby to the family in March. Took my son to his first Husker game against Houston Christian back in September.
Nice.
Someone says here, this is Husker Rick in Crevcoeur, Missouri. Says, Jake and Nick, my best of the year was watching the Huskers beat Cincinnati at Arrowhead and my daughter getting accepted to Nebraska for college. Good year.
Wow.
How about this? Now, I told you about this for sure. I told you about this, Nick, but I went to, I think it was the West Georgia game, first game of the year. I went to the Corner Bar, which is where Longwells used to be in the rail yard.
Yes.
And I told you I met Braden Fraker's dad. He came up and talked.
That's right.
He says on the text line, meeting Jake at the Corner Bar before watching my kid play for Husker Hoops with the juvenile jacket was the best year. Rick, that was a great moment for me as well. I was glad to meet you. And your son is an absolute joy to watch play basketball. He plays just such an old school type. He just goes to the rim, and he is fearless. Fearless.
Well, I can't believe Rick is his name, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
I can't, Rick. You got your best of the year has to be something about your son making Big Ten Freshman of the Week a couple of times, or being
twice now.
Pretty recognized, pretty notable on this undefeated Nebraska basketball team. We love Jake, but there's no way on God's green earth can that be your number one. As your son is having a stellar season for the Husker basketball squad.
Don't you dare shoot down Rick's answer there, okay? He likes media games. On YouTube, Bolt says my top sports moment was playing 18 holes with Jake. Yeah, see, that's 2 now. Had a good experience. Bolt and Rick Frager.
All I'm going to say, Jake bailed. Jake bailed last night. I wanted him to stick around.
I bailed. I was
decided
at
to go to bed.
12:30. Yeah, I did. Okay, and we both made up for 4 a.m. radio, which is a different story.
Yeah, somebody on the text line said Sainert looks dead. I was like, that's fine. I am dead. I've been up since 4 a.m. Tuesday. I woke up at 4 a.m. and lifted before I did the show.
Anyway. See, someone else says, are you guys logging in 8 minutes to try and get a tea time at Landman like we are? I'm putting that on my brother-in-law, Taylor. That's his job. He does a great job every year, so he is the one in charge of that. So that's, I guess, a reminder to him. I think he's on top of it anyway. So, yes, those will sell out in probably 3 hours like usual for the whole year.
Yeah, I don't get involved in that.
Well, maybe
is that one of those things where you got to? Is that one of those things where you have to like prepay?
Yes.
Okay.
Prepay. You don't like that, Nick? You can sell your tea time to somebody.
I understand why you prepay. I just, and I understand why businesses want people to prepay. I just,
a couple more. Kyle Lincoln, in terms of let's hear the best of your year, says, personally, my oldest son, Taylor's wedding to his wife, Caitlin, in September. Weather was perfect. And sports, Game 7 of the World Series, Dodgers winning in extra innings. That was an epic Game 7 this year for sure. Good response there. Derek says, thanks for the Landman reminder. You're welcome. 8 o'clock Central Time that opens up. You're welcome for that. Let's see. Too Ripped to Quit. Another Jake Couples says, Jake looks good with the beard and a black hat. Badass. Thank you, Too Ripped to Quit. Appreciate that. I promise you that was not me texting in, Nick.
This is remarkable. Jake is gone for 2 days, and it's like everybody just has to just follow back in line that Jake's the best here. And
listen, Nick, I wasn't up last night in gambling. You got to help me out with my confidence here, okay? I'm trying to help me out. You're the one that's up a lot of money, and I'm down. Okay. Sanderson says, I'm down 80. I'm down right now. Sanderson says, making it through 2025 after you drop dead once every day, every year is a true blessing. Here's to another, God willing. Sanderson had a haymaker, what do you call it? Widowmaker heart attack a couple years ago, and so we're happy to still have him with us. Ken says, my 2-year-old grandson, Charlie, was the best of the year. More power to you, Ken. Thunderknot Collins says, my best of the year was I spent 4 days in China and they didn't arrest me. How about that?
What is that? Hold on. Can we go back to the grandchild one? Because what do you mean by the more power to you, Ken? What do you mean by that, Jake?
Well,
did you just mean that?
No, here's why I said that because he didn't give a moment.
Put your hat back on.
Yeah, I know it's bad. He didn't give me a moment. I said, what was the best of the year? And he just said his 2-year-old grandson. And, that's a compilation of a year that does count. Like Scotland is almost 2. She was a huge part of my year as well, and I would have her in that conversation.
A big part of your year, yeah.
But
your own daughter.
I was just trying to say, a moment. And it's not a shot at Kent. But you're making me a shot now, Nick. You're making me the bad guy here.
Well, you were just like you were like, all right, yeah, that's a good one, Kent. Yeah, that's a good one. I think it was a very sarcastic one. Yeah, more power to you. That was the quote.
Listen, it's early, okay? I'm sorry.
Oh, 2-year-old child. No more power to you.
Nels in Montana, best of the year. Daughter and I are harvesting a couple backcountry mule bucks. Nice. Joe in Boulder says, thank you guys for waking up early on game day. Great way to start the day. Thank you, Joe, for chiming in. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Joe.
Kent says just lots of moments with the 2-year-old grandson. Okay, thank you. That's legitimate.
Is it?
Yep.
I hope so.
And then Bud Crawford was the best of the year. Taking our son to Atlanta and getting to watch 2 Braves games at home. Pretty good year.
Nice. Let me know on the text line how Truist Park was. I'm curious about that spot. New spot.
Kobe says Jake is reading fake texts. No, I'm not. It's a real text. Husker the text line says Jake and Nick are just like sisters. Well, why can't we be brothers? Why we gotta be sisters? Yeah. Come on now. Crazy. Why we gotta be sisters here? Well, we are. Me and Nick have very much so a brother-like relationship, I would say. I like to give him crap. He gives me crap. It works that way. Once again, today's topic was let's hear the best of your year. That is Jake's Takes. Bill's Throws, the final edition of that for 2025. We will come back with Bill's Throws again on Friday with Bill back in place for the first one of the year. So that should be great. When we come back, hour 3, let's take a look at the playoff games. There's more than just Nebraska and Utah today. Let's look at the playoff games. 1 tonight, 3 tomorrow. Preview of that is next on Early Break of the Ticket live from Las Vegas.
You're listening to coverage of Nebraska football in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl on 93.7 The Ticket. Bowl game coverage is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, MWR Building and Fence, Ben Blaker of Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and Amigos Kings Classic. This is Nebraska football bowl game coverage on 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush. Sponsored by Midwest Bank on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Hey guys, it's Carly from Boyk Farm Outfitters. Farmers, you need to know about Green Eye Spot Spray. With Green Eye, we replace your existing spray boom with a brand new aluminum boom equipped with camera technology that identifies and sprays only weeds and not your crop. The boom comes with 2 spray lines so you can still broadcast residual herbicide while you're spot spraying weeds that are up. Green Eye users in Nebraska are saving a ton of money on herbicides, but that's just the beginning. Learn more at BoykFarmOutfitters.com. That's BOECK FarmOutfitters.com.
Toys and treats are always great gifts for the holidays. But how about a new beloved family member? Huskerland Bulldogs has French and English Bulldog puppies ready for you to take home and be the star of the holidays and change your lives for the better. They can deliver anywhere in the U.S. as they've placed puppies from coast to coast for 20 years. Follow Huskerland Bulldogs on Facebook or Instagram or visit HuskerlandBulldogs.com. For more info, call or text 402-860-0306. Again, that's 402-860-0306.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you tired of living in pain? At Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, they make it simple. From head to toe, spine to extremities, they've got you covered. Their multi-specialty team of experts in orthopedic surgery, plastic surgery, podiatry, physical therapy, and occupational therapy all work under one roof to get you back to living life pain-free. Don't wait another day. Visit prairie-ortho.com today or call them at 402-489-4700. Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery, where healing begins.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
We're kicking off 2026 with a party on Friday, January 2nd, featuring Mike Smith and the Bowie Boys, who are turning 93.7 The Ticket into a skate park. You heard that right. Make plans to stop by The Ticket between 5 and 8 p.m. on Friday, January 2nd for a live broadcast of Culture and Coffee from 5 to 7 p.m. and a vintage market plus skate experience hosted by the Bowie Boys from 7 to 8 p.m. This is a party you do not want to miss. Stop by The Ticket prior to the Nebraska basketball game on Friday, January 2nd from 5 to 8 p.m. Husker Nation, conference play is here for Husker Women's Hoops, and we need your help. The Huskers had one of their best starts ever, completing non-conference play with a perfect 12-0 record. But Big Ten play will be a challenge, and they need to hear Husker Nation in the stands for every basket, steal, and each and every win. The road to March starts now, so don't wait. Head to huskers.com/tickets and secure your seat for some unforgettable matchups in PBA. Go Big Red.
Wake up, Lincoln.
Good morning. Good morning. It's great to stay up late.
It's time for Early Break, presented by Nebco. Live from Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
I like Stone.
Husker Online, Steve Sipple.
And here comes a sandwich from God.
And longtime college football assistant coach, Bill Bush.
Hey, somebody grab me a mocha quick, would you?
This is Early Break.
Welcome back to Hour 3 on the last day of the year on Early Break. Steve Sipple out to be at the bowl game. Bill Bush also out. Jake Sorensen with Nick Sanders, special guest who filled in for the first 2 days of the week. Thank you again for that swim. This hour sponsored by friends at Nebco, now hiring at Concrete Industries for precast production laborers. Check them out online at concreteindustries.com or at nebcoinc.com. Appreciate all the response today, keeping us company here as we are, again, It is 8:06 where we are usually at in Lincoln. It is 6:06 a.m., which means we got up in the 3 o'clock hour. In Swim's case, he didn't go to bed in the 3 o'clock hour. I did for a couple hours. So thank you for hanging with us. And again, I know we're not in the studio, but we're doing the best we can to make the show as good as possible. And thanks to our sponsors again, Amigos Kings Classic, Advanced Medical Imaging, Ben Blanker of PRG, Berkshire Hathaway, Ambassador Real Estate, and MWR Building and Fence for making our trip to Las Vegas possible to cover the game today. Nick, I was looking during the break at today's schedule of games, and like I told you last night that when I went out to California a couple years ago and was watching NFL, I couldn't get over the fact that the game started at 10 a.m. and they start at 9 a.m. for college. I can't get over the fact that we've got a bowl game, Vanderbilt, Iowa, in the ReliaQuest Bowl. It says 9 a.m. this time, 11 a.m. Central Time. That's, of course, in Tampa. There's going to be a bowl game here at 9 a.m. Vegas time. I can't get over that.
That's remarkable. I love that.
But that's
I love that.
But college game day, man, the same. That's if it's a regular Saturday in say October. Guess what? Games start at 9 a.m. this time.
Yeah, I can't imagine what NFL Sundays are like because you're getting games that. So here's what's crazy: the games out in overseas are starting at 6:15 in the morning.
Yeah,
think about that one.
Well, I was watching Nick a couple years ago. I was at a wedding in November in California, and the Dolphins played in Germany against the Chiefs. Yeah, and it was seriously like a 6:10 start for an NFL game. That's insane to me, but it's crazy. All right, so Nebraska, of course, plays today 2:30. That'd be 12:30 our time in Vegas, 2:30 Nebraska time. There are other games before we get to the playoff today. Do not forget to mention Vanderbilt, Iowa. On that game, real quick, Nick, I feel like before bowl season, so let's go back to the Sunday after conference title games. This is before the Heisman's announced. Like, I think the nation's pulling for Vanderbilt because Diego Pavia has been a great story, and they're 10-2. And then Pavia, does not win the Heisman. He kind of gets lippy with that reaction. Is the nation like pulling for Iowa now because of that? I don't understand. Like, there's been a kind of a flip in terms of how people look at Diego Pavia in general.
There's been a flip. Now, I don't know if there's been a dramatic of enough flip to where people are starting to cheer for Iowa. I don't know. This has got to be one of the most popular games to have fans cheering for neither team. They want both teams to lose. That feels like this right now. I'm interested to see what Iowa looks like on special teams. Like we forget LeVar Wood's not there anymore. That
matters. That's big.
It is a big deal. Like there is a big piece that's been there for the last X amount of years that's not going to be there. Maybe we don't see it, play out and cause issues today. But that's something that going forward we'll have to watch with the Iowa Hawkeyes. But no, I think you're right. The narrative has shifted on Diego Pavia, and I'm not surprised that it has because of the way that he acted when he was not named the Heisman Trophy winner. But then also Vanderbilt's just kind of been that team, though. Diego Pavia has been pretty outspoken all the way back at SEC Media Days talking about Alabama and that whole situation there. Clark Lee just kind of comes up out of nowhere and is this guy that just has this incredible amount of confidence and for the most part was able to back it up until the later parts of the year. I just don't know if anybody actually wants either side to win this game today between Iowa and Vandy.
Vanderbilt, 4.5-point favorites to that game. Again, it's at 11 a.m. Central Time, 9 a.m. this time in Tampa in the ReliaQuest Bowl. Arizona State, Duke in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, and El Paso, a place that our good friend Steve Sipple would love to go to. He loves El Paso, wants to go to that bowl game every year. That is at 1 p.m. Central Time, 11 a.m. this time on CBS. Michigan and Texas at noon this time, 2 p.m. Central Time on ABC in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. Curious how that looks with, again, obviously you won't see Whittingham coaching the game for Michigan, but he'll be there. He's not going to be at this game for Nebraska, Utah. Yeah. He is now the Michigan head coach, so he is done with Utah. And it's funny, we had him on the show, less than 2 weeks ago on early break, and it's just incredible how he was the Utah head coach, about to coach his last game. It's going to be the last go around before Scally takes over. Now that's not going to happen. He's the head coach of Michigan. So life comes at you fast.
It does. Bill and I talked to Spencer Checkitz of ESPN Radio out in Salt Lake on Monday. Great conversation with Spence. And one of the things, Jake, that I think it was perfectly describing Kyle Whittingham and his move to Michigan is that while at Utah, he was a college football story. But now within the first 5 minutes of being Michigan's head coach, he becomes a national sports story. And so I thought that was really interesting and a really good way to kind of illustrate the differences, but also the difference in pressure that is at both spots. Kyle Whittingham, for whatever reason, felt like it was the time to step down, to retire. Not retire, because he never used the words retire.
Yep,
but he felt like it was the time. It was the time to step down. Now is that with some extra nudging from the administration, maybe. But nonetheless, there's going to be a lot of Michigan fan eyeballs on this Las Vegas Bowl today. Bill and I talked about it over the last couple of days, to where there's an offensive coordinator that it might be going with Kyle Whittingham from Utah to Michigan. If that's the case, there's going to be a lot of Michigan fans with eyeballs on this Utah offense. And the biggest question, we talked about TJ Lateef earlier in the show. Mm-hmm. Biggest question in college football potentially is, what is Bryce Underwood going to do?
Yeah. And right now, I don't know, Nick, because he was not overly impressive this year. Certainly he showed flashes of greatness, but for someone that was probably making a lot of, up to $4 million potentially in NAL, as a report there, lots to be desired. The record was okay. The team was a ranked team. Like they're solid, but yeah, you're right, Nick. Does he stay at Michigan or does he go elsewhere? Who knows with that one? And then the last game, of course, today is the playoff game, the first one. So 3 games tomorrow, 1 game tonight in the playoff. That'll be Miami and Ohio State. That is at 4:30 Vegas time, 6:30, of course, Central Time.
Oh no, that's in the middle of our nap time, Jake.
I know it is. Yeah, it is.
Oh no.
So the Buckeyes are 9.5-point favorites. Now, I'll tell you this, Miami, I had not watched a lot of them this year. I haven't watched a ton of Ohio State either, because they're always blowing teams out mostly. But this should be a low-scoring game, right? The over-under is 40.5. Both teams have very, very good defenses. Miami just held A&M to 3 points on their home field last week. And Ohio State's been an incredible defense all year long. You just kind of perked up. You think that the under's the bad take in this one.
Yeah, I think I see this game. First off, it's indoors. A big part of why there was only 3 points scored for Texas A&M last week is because there was gale-forced winds that was going on at Kyle Field down in College Station. I think if Miami wants to win this game, they're going to need to score the ball. I think that's the case there.
That's how you win games, Nick. You score points.
Thank you. I know it's some real cutting edge analysis coming from the 11th floor of the Virgin Hotel today. But anyway, I think that seriously though, is they're not going to be able to win this game 10-3 against Ohio State, in my opinion. No matter how good Miami's defense is, Ohio State's a program that has been here before. The Ohio State's a program that beat Oregon bad last year when Oregon was the favorite to win the national championship at times in the college football playoff last year. This is an Ohio State team with one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in all of college football, in Jeremiah Smith. This is an Ohio State team, like you said, that has a really good defense, and they have a really good quarterback in Julian Sain who manages it well. I think that this is going to have to be like a 24-20, 28-24 type of Miami win if the Hurricanes want to come away with this win.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be a great story now. Obviously, for the Big Ten, it'd not be a great story, but the ACC needs something here. They need some sort of thing to lean on. Of course, with Duke winning the league with a 7-5 record going in, it's not a great look for the league. Clemson, of course, loses to Penn State, and they fire their OC. Lincoln Riley's brothers is gone at Clemson. Like the ACC just is in such shambles right now that, I almost, again, for the sake of the Big Ten, Ohio State, you want them to win, but I respect that conference for a long time. I don't want to see them just go away and just be a non-factor. And so I'm glad they beat A&M to get to game 2. But I think you're right. It doesn't look great for Miami, but certainly, Julian Sain, like you said, first playoff game. He's played in big games this year, but he has not played in a playoff game yet.
Yeah, you're right. And that's maybe where we see potentially the difference between Carson Beck and Julian Sain. I think some of the quarterback matchups this weekend are really interesting. There's endless storylines. Obviously, with Georgia and Ole Miss, you have the coaching storylines with Pete Golden, and what does it mean if Kirby Smart loses to Pete Golden at Ole Miss this weekend? That's the most expensive get-in price out of the four playoff games is Georgia and Ole Miss. That's the night game on New Year's Day. But I think that when you look at some of the quarterbacks in this one, a lot of them are transfers, but then also a lot of them are experienced guys. Fernando Mendoza is experienced and now obviously a Heisman Trophy winner. Dante Moore has plenty of games under his belt. They always talk about how once you get past game 4, game 5, you're not a freshman, even if that's what your classification is. And so we get to find out some of the best athletes in the college football playoff time, because this is where we see guys like Julian Sayin really make a name for themselves in all of college football.
Oh boy, we got to take on the YouTube chat here, Nick. We got to assess here.
This is going to be great.
John, and this is not even a take on us. This is a coworker of ours, Nick. John on YouTube says this: your colleague at the ticket, Austin Orman, says he doesn't care about how other Big Ten teams fare in the bowl games. Disgusting. We should support other Big Ten teams for many reasons. I mean, I think right now the Big Ten is proud of the 6-1 record. And like I said, last night, USC was about to win in overtime before TCU had a miracle touchdown to win the game. If USC wins, the Big Ten is 7-0. And I think it does matter because, like I just said earlier in the show, you've got opt-outs from Notre Dame, Kansas State, Iowa State. You're trying to prove that, hey, the bowl games are not dead. Yes, the playoff is obviously what matters most, but we want to know that teams and leagues still care about these bowl games, and the Big Ten clearly does. So I'm not taking a shot at Austin. John was there, but I think it's nice to have it just kind of further confirms how good or bad your season was or how good or bad your teams are to a certain extent.
I'm actually going to
side with Austin.
More so agree with Austin than disagree with Austin. And here is why. I think that there's something to be said about the opt-outs. Everybody wants to give Notre Dame so much crap, and Iowa State and Kansas State. They have to do school specific. What's best for them as a program, right? Like Iowa State has less than 20 players on their roster actively.
Yes.
Were they really going to be able to field a competitive team of guys that wanted to be there to just go play a football game? Like, were they going to be able to do that? I don't think so. They barely have a full coaching staff, if they even do yet. Kansas State is the same conversation there. I just don't know. Like those aren't programs like Penn State that they just have like this acting interim head coach for the last 2.5 months. And like things are just business as usual for them to play in a bowl game. And there's just a new coach there watching from the press box. That's not the case. I mean, Penn State literally hired Matt Campbell just a couple of weeks ago. And you expected Iowa State to be able to field an entire team as these guys are all opting out of their national letter of intents, like minute after minute.
Yeah.
Like they're like, that's just not realistic. And so I struggle to like sit there and say, okay, hey, you know what? That tells me that the Big 12 isn't serious about football, but the Big 10 is. No, because guess what? If Nebraska would lose their coach a week before they were supposed to play in a bowl game potentially, like you want Nebraska to just throw 16 guys out there like that? Don't sit here and tell me you care about the betterment of the student athlete then if that's what you want to have happen.
I don't know if I'm not really attacking K-State and Iowa State. I mean, I'm attacking Notre Dame. Notre Dame, I'm taking after that's still sad what they're doing. It's a joke what they did. I'm sorry. Well, we can fight on all you want, Nick. I will not defend Notre Dame. But why is it not okay for teams in the Big Ten to support each other right now in 1 month of the season? Huh? Like,
I struggle to cheer for like.
I'm not rooting for Iowa today, but I'll root for. I don't care. I have nothing against Notre Dame or sorry, excuse me, Northwestern or USC. Last night I was pulling for them to win. Why not? I'm not pulling for Iowa.
I think it's possible to enjoy a college football game without wanting one team to win over the other. That's how I feel about all these teams. Now, is it great? Like, is it? I don't know. I would ask the question: if the Big Ten was 3-4 in bowl games, are we going to not look at the Big Ten as like the second or number one conference in college football? It's not like they're going to lose their spot as a top two conference in college football with the SEC.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, Nick, is that for years the Big Ten was having bad times in bowl games. They were having embarrassing records, and they weren't winning championships. Ohio State was not winning titles. You didn't have, Michigan did, but the Big Ten was figuring out. They had about a 10-year stretch where just the Big Ten was doing bad in bowl games. They weren't winning titles, and it was like, where are we as a league? And then something changed. Ohio State won, Michigan obviously won, and now you have a chance to have a third straight title in the league as your other teams are also winning bowl games. So it just further enhances that, hey, this league truly is on top. And we're coming for the SEC, who's had a bad bowl season thus far, including Illinois beating Tennessee yesterday on a walk-off field goal in the Music City Bowl. Yeah. So it's little things add up, Nick. For all the dominance SEC had for years, like you've kind of quickly chipped away at this whole notion of SEC dominance.
Well, I mean, here's this. Bill brought this up on Tuesday's show, and I'm going to piggyback off of his thought here. Ohio State and Michigan have won the last 2 national championships. This is a big year for the SEC. They do not want to allow 3 consecutive Big Ten title winners. So if you are a team like Alabama, if you are a team like Ole Miss or Georgia, you're sitting there thinking we have to be the representative and we need to win because the Big Ten has won 2 in a row. We do not want to allow that to be 3 in a row. And how about this? I think the worst case scenario for the SEC is if Indiana wins it this year. If Indiana wins the national championship, not only is that the 3rd national title in a row for the Big Ten Conference, it's the 3rd school to do it. It was Michigan and then Ohio State and then Indiana. That doesn't show that it's not just one team that's overall dominant in the Big Ten Conference across the country. It is 3 teams, Michigan, Ohio State, and then Indiana. This is a massive, massive couple of weeks coming up for the SEC because they cannot allow, for their pride's sake, they cannot allow the Big Ten to win 3 straight.
Well, like you said, Nick, it's not just pride. If it's Indiana of all the teams who's been horrific forever, and they make and it just proves. Again, Cignetti, who was already a coach in the league at one point with Saban at Alabama as assistant coach, I mean, if Indiana beats Bama tomorrow, and again, I think they're 7-point favorites, I believe, Nick, because I checked last time. They're 7-point favorites. Just think about
the weather's starting to clear up too.
Just think about what that says about like college football. And yes, we know Cignetti is an outlier, and that's a positive thing. It's impressive what he's done. But if they can do it, if Indiana can win the Big Ten and beat Alabama in a playoff game, like it further proves that anybody can do it. Like anybody's alive. Nebraska fans are so down about, we'll never get back there. Why not? Like it's happening at Vanderbilt, who barely missed the playoff. Indiana's the 1 seed. Like it can happen. So you should be more hopeful than ever before. And I'm not sure fans are actually feeling that way.
Yeah, I think hopeful, but also you need to see some proof in the pudding, and that can start today. And I think one big thing about Indiana, because a lot of people will criticize them for their easy easy non-conference slate. Curt Cignetti is not shy about saying, "Hey, why would we schedule a tough non-conference game when we're going to play in one of the best conferences in college football?" And he can say that, and people can pass that off as it's okay to say that. Why? Because he's been able to go to Oregon and win on the road in a monsoon in Eugene. He's been able to beat Michigan. He's been able to win the Big Ten championship over Ohio State. Like he's been able to back up every single thing that he says. I say it often. I'll say it again. I hate how much I respect the crap out of Curt Cignetti because every little thing he says, he can back it up.
I love Cignetti. Why would you feel that kind of thought towards him, Nick?
I hate how much I respect him.
Lifetime.
No, he's not. Easy. I hate how much I respect him because the dude talks so much junk, and to this point, nobody has been able to shut him up.
I think you have to just keep bringing up every time that you bring up Cignetti. Just the fact he's lost 2 games at Indiana, and both teams have played in last year's national championship. That's it. That's all. Incredible. Yeah. He's the man.
It is.
Last one, Nick. I tell you what, this game should be good, but for some reason I have no interest in it. Ole Miss, Georgia. You mentioned that game a little bit ago, but that to me is clearly that to me is like my 4th game of interest like by far in the playoff. Like you mentioned, the storyline with Kiffin gone. I get that. We already saw the game this year. It's a rematch, and it was a great game. But I don't like seeing rematches in the playoff. Now, it might happen with Ohio State, Indiana if they made it in the finals. That's a different story. It's a title game. But in terms of the first round, like, I already saw this game, and I liked it, but I don't need a round two. Really don't.
I'm a fan. I think that this game is. I think this game is going to be one of the best. In all honesty, I think that when you look at. Okay, so let's go through the rankings. Let's rank these games from most interested to least interest in. For me, it goes Alabama, Indiana.
1.
And then number 1, I would absolutely agree. So this is where we're going to differ. I would put Ole Miss, Georgia, and then I would
That's
put
4. That's number 4.
I know it is.
Clear.
And then I would put Texas Tech, Oregon at 3rd, and then Miami and Ohio State at 4.
Yeah, Texas Tech, Oregon's 2, and then Miami, Ohio State 3, and then 4th or maybe 10th would be Ole Miss, Georgia. I'll watch the game. Obviously, it's a playoff game. I don't know. SEC versus SEC in that round. Don't want to see it. Don't care. I care, but to a lesser extent. It's over the top. I know. But can't wait. In that first game tonight of the playoffs, 6:30 p.m. local time, 4:30 our time, in the middle of our potential nap prior to New Year's Eve festivities. But we will certainly watch as much as we can and the highlights if not. And there's a chance we don't nap at all. There's a chance we just, drink a lot of caffeine and just keep going, Nick. You never know.
I will be napping.
And I have promised to you that once we are off the air and you're doing your first hour of the drive, at least I will deliver a coffee to your room. We are not in the same room. I'm getting texts from everyone saying, turn your light on. I said, the lights are on. I have every light in the room on. I don't know what to tell you about this. I've double checked. Every light's in the room is on. I'm as light as I possibly can be.
Whatever floats your boat. No, I need the coffee. I got 1 hour. I'll do. I told AD I'm sticking around for the first hour of the drive, and then it's going to be shower time and get ready because we got credentials to pick up. Yes. We got a couple of errands to run. We got to make sure we get Ubers and everything. And I'm sure there'll be some sort of Utah send off that we'll have to work around down in the lobby of our hotel. And so better to be. What is it called? Early is on time is late, and late is just plain unacceptable. That's the motto we're using today.
Ending the year with great cliches to keep us on track. I love it.
There you go. I just want to keep you happy.
Nick. When we come back, there is significant news that still is shocking me in the Big Ten of a coaching change. Not a head coach, but a coordinator. I'm going to discuss that next on Early Break in the Ticket from Vegas.
You're listening to coverage of Nebraska football in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl on 93.7 The Ticket. Bowl game coverage is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, MWR Building and Fence, Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and Amigos Kings Classic. This is Nebraska football bowl game coverage on 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush, presented by NIPCO on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Toys and treats are always great gifts for the holidays. But how about a new beloved family member? Huskerland Bulldogs has French and English Bulldog puppies ready for you to take home and be the star of the holidays and change your lives for the better. They can deliver anywhere in the U.S. as they've placed puppies from coast to coast for 20 years. Follow Huskerland Bulldogs on Facebook or Instagram, or visit HuskerlandBulldogs.com. For more info, call or text 402-860-0306. Again, that's 402-860-0306.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today. All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their contact us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
Amigos is serving up a brand new way to score the bold, fresh flavors you love with 8 affordable value meals. At $5 and $6, these meals are easy on the wallet, so treat yourself anytime. Sink into the new 3-cheese melt or taco melt, both stacked with crave-worthy flavor in every bite. There's crunchy taquito dippers, too, perfect for dunking in Amigos' famous ranch or spicy cheese. Big flavor, small price. Value meals at Amigos.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. 1221 N Street, Lincoln.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
It's that time of year when one episode turns into just one more season, when dessert turns into dinner, and time doesn't exist until the clock strikes midnight. Wait, what time is it? It's time to finish strong. At Planet Fitness, we're not waiting for the new year to give it everything we've got. Enjoy 24-hour access at most clubs when you join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime, and pay nothing until January 17th. Deal ends December 31st. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription, or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, You'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Score big with Amigos fan favorites like soft tacos, crispy burritos, and of course, game-changing ranch dressing. Amigos now has 8 value meals priced at $5 and $6. Tackle your game day hunger with the bold, fresh flavors of Amigos, one of our sponsors of coverage from the bowl game, as well as Advanced Medical Imaging, Ben Bleicher of PRG, Berkshire Hathaway Ambassador Real Estate, and MWR Building and Fence. In case you're just new to the show, new to the station, young Nick was at one point a manager at Amigos at age 14. Is that right, Nick?
15. I
I thought you were 14. You lied to me. You told me 14.
I never told you 14.
Well, it's okay, 14, 15, whatever. The
There you
70th
go.
and A. All right, 70th and A, Amigos, Nick?
That is correct. Drive-through supervisor. What can I say?
Better times back in the day.
Much better times. As Amon Green looked at me one time as I grabbed a Tootsie Roll from the candy jar, he looked at me and goes, "You wonder why?" Well, it's because I had my fair share of crisp meats and cheese Frenchies whenever I wanted them.
Well, now you watch yourself, so you've learned. So well done, Nick. And you
Thank
had
you.
pizza
Thank you.
because you earned pizza at 3 a.m. today. You really did.
That pizza was so good, Jake. I'm
Vegas
telling
pizza.
you, man. That Vegas pizza. My times are so screwed up. I was telling AD, I was texting back and forth with AD just a couple minutes ago, and I was like, AD, I got to make sure I'm at the stadium by like 10:30 today. Like, that's when we're trying to get to the stadium, thinking like, okay, I'll be able to stay on the show for the first hour of it. And that'll really only be 8 o'clock here in Vegas. So I say all that to say, I'm going to be on the drive for the first hour, but then we're going to shower up and maybe catch a little bit of a snooze.
Yes.
Okay, I head over there.
Head over. It's right. We're going to do that. Okay. I know you and Bill brought this up yesterday, but I can't get over it. I haven't addressed it yet. That I just can't believe this. The last couple of years for Chip Kelly. Of course, Chip Kelly, we all know.
Yeah.
Oregon head coach for years, lost the title game to Auburn, went to the Eagles, went to the Niners. He's been all over the place. Very successful. UCLA was pretty good there and went to Ohio State to be the OC. Of course, wins the title last year and then moves on to the Raiders to be the OC. Gets fired midseason. And now we learned yesterday morning, Nick, that I had to read it 6 times to make sure I wasn't getting duped. That Chip Kelly, I mentioned all those spots he's been at, and even this year, the Raiders offensive coordinator is going to join David Braun, your boy, at Northwestern next year as the offensive coordinator. That, my friend, is a jaw dropper.
What a contrast of styles.
What
right?
in the world?
Like now granted, like Chip Kelly is viewed, I should say, maybe hasn't proven it the last couple of stops, but is viewed as a innovative mind in college football, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And it did not go well in Vegas. It did not go well just a few hundred yards. Okay, a little bit longer than that. A few miles away from where we're at Allegiant Stadium. And it did not go well. He ends up getting fired midseason. And if you would have said, hey, Chip Kelly's going back to college, where's he going to be the offense coordinator to, or, at? And it's in the Big Ten Conference. There are not many schools that would be under Northwestern, or that I would say Northwestern probably third to last or second to last or last.
Yeah, it doesn't fit in my realm. I mean, unless he can bring a quarterback with him, or I mean, don't doubt Chip Kelly's recruiting abilities. He's got guys that fall into different places, but yeah, it just you're right. If you would have thought, hey, pick a spot for Chip Kelly in the Big Ten, there's what 18 teams right now, Nick? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
18 teams. They'd be 17th or 18th in the list, if not dead last. That's why I had to check 6 times. Am I misreading this or not? No. Chip Kelly joining Northwestern as the offensive coordinator starting next season for the bowl-winning Wildcats, who beat CMU, Central Michigan, by I think 34-7. That's just stunning news. And yeah,
Jake, how about David Braun, man? Like in a time where he got thrown into the fire 3 years ago, is able to get Northwestern to a bowl game that year and win the bowl game. And then, unfortunately, follows it up with a 4-8 record in 2024. But what's he do here in 2025? He gets them back to a bowl and wins another bowl game for them. And through 3 years, I believe his record is 19-19. He's right there. Same as Matt Rule. Like these are the conversations that we're having. And David Braun was thrown into the fire. They extended him. Northwestern's about to get a brand new facility, a brand new field here in the next, short-term, timeline and time frame. And now you bring in a known name in college football and Chip Kelly. It is fascinating. It doesn't feel like it's going to fit, but we'll find out, I guess.
Keep it there because I think people thought, Nick, that last year that 4-8 record was here we go. Northwestern can't compete NIL. They can't compete with the portal. Like it's academically difficult to get in there, and how do you get great players to go there in the time of the portal? And we thought this is going to be the death of Northwestern. Not so fast. I mean, make a bowl game, win their bowl game. I mean, they pushed Nebraska to the brink. Again, we saw that might be Nebraska's best win of the year was Northwestern in Lincoln. If it's not Cincinnati game in Arrowhead, that's your best wins. And so, yeah, great job. And we'll see if David Braun keeps it going up there. But you were on him for a while. I'll give you kudos. You liked him from the get-go. And
I think there's something about the way he handled Big Ten Media Days 3 years ago when he was kind of thrown into the fire. I mean, we have to remember David Braun was a defensive coordinator from North Dakota State who was hired at Northwestern. It's not necessarily a great coordinator destination either. And I realize we're saying that it's kind of ironic because we're talking about Chip Kelly, but it's one of those things to where it's not like you're sitting there saying, hey, heck yeah, I'm going to be a coordinator at Northwestern. This is my next step. Like, here we go. And then just 3 weeks or a couple months after he was hired as defensive coordinator, here he is getting his first head coaching job or an opportunity. He's done a really good job, in my opinion, with it. And I think you mentioned the piece about the NIL. We've seen it kill programs. Rutgers is one. Greg Schiano does not hold back on anything about, hey, our NIL is nowhere where it needs to be if you guys want to compete nationally. It's nowhere where it needs to be.
5-7 though this year, Rutgers?
Rutgers was they might have been, but Greg Schiano's been so upfront with the media, really telling them, hey, like we got to do better at Rutgers and stuff. It might not kill them right now, but overall, it's going to slowly hurt the teams and programs like Rutgers. Rutgers was 5-7. Their 5 wins. I mean, Jake, how about this for not very appealing? Their 5 wins: Ohio, Miami, Ohio, Norfolk State, Purdue, and Maryland. Those are their 5 wins.
I heard 2 bowl teams in there: Ohio, Miami, Ohio. Nick, let's not be too critical of those wins.
All I'm saying is we think Nebraska doesn't have very many marquee wins. Rutgers is sitting there going, okay, which team was the best one that we beat?
Yeah, but Rutgers has always been bad though. When have they been good? Like this is nothing different, nothing new for them. It might have killed them, but they've always.
I'm saying they're in the same conversation as like Northwestern. It's just now Northwestern's trying to do something with it in terms of practice facility with a new Ryan Field going to be built and opened up here soon. Now going out and paying Chip Kelly to be their offensive coordinator, committing to David Braun long term. I mean, they are just doing things different, I think, at Northwestern than places like Rutgers or other places like that.
So I think, again, it's just going to be very fascinating to see how this looks with Chip Kelly at Northwestern. It's just a stunning hire by them. I think well done by Northwestern, and for him, I don't understand it. But if the Wildcats have an epic run next year, epic rise, and kudos to everybody involved for making that happen. At the time, like you said, the few fields get done, so that's awesome. But Chip Kelly going to Northwestern to be the offensive coordinator, sizable news in the Big Ten Conference. We'll come back with the spillover next to wrap things up from Las Vegas on early break.
Listening to coverage of Nebraska football in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl on 93.7 The Ticket. Bowl game coverage is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, MWR Building and Fence, Ben Bleicher of Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, and Amigos Kings Classic. This is Nebraska football bowl game coverage on 93.7 The Ticket. You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, and Bill Bush, presented by NIPCO on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hey guys, this is former UFC fighter and mixed martial artist Anthony Lionheart Smith. The Upside Bar and Lounge in South Lincoln is the go-to spot for every UFC event, prelims, and main card. There's never a cover, so make sure you get there early and stay late. Upside Bar and Lounge has daily specials, a margarita club, and a taco club. And don't forget, they just added Buzz Bowls to their menu. Learn more about upcoming events by visiting UpsideBarLNK.com and stop into their South Lincoln location for every UFC event on 27th and Pine Lake.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at PAHLincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket all week for coverage of Nebraska football's appearance in the 2025 Las Vegas Bowl. Coverage of Nebraska football's bowl game is sponsored by Advanced Medical Imaging, Ben Bleicher with Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, MWR Building and Fence, and Amigos Kings Classic on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
MWR, a local company of Lincoln, is proud to announce they are able to offer their own post-frame building packages in metal to anyone desiring a building, whether you're a contractor or a DIYer. They can install your building as always, and they offer multiple different rib profiles and loads of color options, including the wood grain metal at great competitive prices. You can inquire at mwrbuildingandfence.com or just draw your desired building and submit it in their Contact Us page, and they'll get back to you. Call MWR today at 402-540-8966.
It's that time of year when one episode turns into just one more season, when dessert turns into dinner, and time doesn't exist until the clock strikes midnight. Wait, what time is it? It's time to finish strong. At Planet Fitness, we're not waiting for the new year to give it everything we've got. Enjoy 24-hour access at most clubs when you join for $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime, and pay nothing until January 17th. Deal ends December 31st. Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
In a world where Wi-Fi battles rage and bandwidth is never enough, one family dares to connect it all. Work from home, influence all day, stream all night, and game to win. Deadlines, downloads, and dance-offs, all happening under one roof, flawlessly. Can your internet provider do that? Fiber fuel your household at allofiber.com/all-in.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln area. We are going to keep this train rolling in a big way with new half-ton and 4x4 pickup trucks starting at $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You heard that right, $12,500 off list price or 0% financing. You pick which one works better for you. Please stop on in the dealership and meet the team or check us out at coppellcars.com. Stock number C280930. All deals with approved credit.
Get rid of pesky critters once and for all with Bats to Rats. Their expert team is here to help you reclaim your home. No more sleepless nights caused by crawling critters or flapping wings. Bats to Rats ensures a safe environment for every family member. Check the website at batstorats.com for amazing offers. And if you mention this ad, you'll receive $10 off your initial inspection cost. Call Bats to Rats today at 402-781-8691. That's 402-781-8691. Bats to Rats.
Tune in to 93.7 The Ticket immediately after every Nebraska men's basketball game for 1 hour of post-game recap. The Nebraska Basketball Postgame Show is sponsored by Union Bank and Trust, John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical, and the Lincoln Airport on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
We're on the air.
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
To more of Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is time for the spillover, sponsored by Raising Kate's Chicken Fingers. One love again, one last segment for us live from Las Vegas. Well, Nick's got another hour to go with AD on the drive. I will be getting some coffee, taking a shower, and then we'll head down to the game a little bit after that. But thank you.
Is coffee first?
Yeah. I'm going
Okay,
to coffee.
good.
You want to do coffee then shower?
Preferably,
Okay.
I'd
Okay,
appreciate
all right.
that from
do
you.
you need creamer in the coffee or not?
Maybe just a little bit. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
all right. Yeah, I'll get some after this. I'll be up there.
As
in a little bit.
large of a size.
Yeah, I'll
as
get. Yeah,
possible.
same here. I'm going to do the same thing. Thank you to all the comments coming in today. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I know it's a little bit different for us both being out of studio, but this means a lot to have you chime in both on YouTube, Facebook, the text line, and our final show of the year as we look forward to the Vegas Bowl here in just a couple hours. Nick.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. I'm like I said, I'm excited to see the stadium, but in all seriousness, I mean, big opportunity for Nebraska. I said it. Okay, I'll be honest. I can't remember if I said it. I said it on this show where I was like, yeah, the last couple of weeks of the regular season, there was just some uncomfortability. It just was not the most comfortable. And this is a chance that Nebraska has to leave a decent taste in the mouths of Husker fans and in the minds of Husker fans. And if Nebraska comes out and let's say they look flat, they don't look ready to go, they look ill prepared. You've already made coaching changes, and you don't want to make excuses for not showing up ready to play football today. And so then you throw in Jake. I mean, here's the thing: we're blessed, obviously, with the help of our great sponsors and partners to be able to come out here. Fans can't do that. Fans don't have that. They have to invest their own time, energy, effort, money into this. We know the prices of flights and hotels and just the prices of Vegas, and you're asking fans to spend $5,000 at least on a couple of days out here in Vegas to come watch a Las Vegas Bowl between a 7-5 Husker team and a 10-win Utah team. And you want to make sure you show up ready to go because there's probably going to be about 20,000-25,000 Husker fans there.
Yeah, it should be a fun game. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't done a prediction for a long time. We haven't done picks on the show all year, but I'm going to do a pick right now, Nick. I don't think Nebraska's going to win. I think they're going to lose. And I think that's a lot to do with the fact that, even though Whittingham is gone, they want to win for Morgan Scalley in his first game as interim coach. Now, I brought up the example the other day that Dabo Swinney was the interim head coach when Nebraska beat Clemson in 2008 in the Gator Bowl. You're hoping that situation happens again for Utah if they can be like Clemson. But I think they're the better team, even though they've got guys out. It's a coaching change. I think Utah is going to win this game. Probably not cover the spread, but in the realm of 31-21 Utah today.
I worry about Devin Dampier. I worry about the explosiveness that he has in the backfield. I also, if you're Utah's offensive coordinator, you're sitting there going, there's reports that Coach Kyle Whittingham's going to take you to Michigan. You're going to want to put on a show. And Nebraska's defense not necessarily the strongest unit for the Huskers this season. And so just going off of what we know, I'm going to lean Utah win, but I wouldn't be surprised if Nebraska wins. I think it's going to be somewhere along the lines of a 27-21 type of day. I'm going to pick Utah to win, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's 27-21 Nebraska. I think it's just going to be around that area.
We want to thank Jake Bachhoven, Connor Crummy, our new intern for the ticket, new producer, also Nick Wyman for their help today getting the show on the road from the station. Thank you guys for your support. Also, our sponsors for making us come out here or letting us come out here. Amigos Kings Classic, Advanced Medical Imaging, Ben Blanker of PRG, Berkshire Hathaway, Ambassador Real Estate, and MWR Building and Fence. We would not be here without them. Say that. It's been a fun time. We look forward to a fun game today. And Nick, thank you for jumping on No Sleep and enjoy your first hour of the drive. I'll have coffee for you in the next 20 minutes or so.
Heck yeah. I'm excited.
All right, that's it for us. Pre-game show starts at noon. The drive is next. We will see you for more coverage from Vegas. See you.
You're listening to Early Break with Steve Sipple.